Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Yes, speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. Thursday, May 6, 2021. We're live in Indianapolis, Indiana! Haven't done that in a long time.
It's been a while. Good.
It's nice to know we still got it, by the way. It's in there if we need it. We are in Indiana. We're not going to fly down until after the show to beautiful Tampa. I spent 48 hours, 72 hours in Tampa last week, and I slept for about 4 of them. So I was okay with staying in my bed another night. We'll be traveling down there this evening. Cannot wait to get down to the Fanduel Beach House for another incredible smackdown tomorrow night, Friday night, Fox, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's actual Fox, not Fox Sports 1,
okay.
Not Fox Sports Ocho, not Fox News, not Fox 21st Century Fox.
Not FX.
Not FX.
Nope.
Not it's actual Fox. Bunny Ears Fox. 8 p.m. tomorrow. We got a big one. I have no idea. I actually don't know. It's a throwback show.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. It's a huge show tomorrow.
Corbin Rollins tomorrow night? Are you kidding me?
No.
I saw that. Yeah, WWE tweeted
Cesaro Rollins.
Oh, well, WWE Twitter's got it wrong.
No, Cesaro.
Hey, I'll pull it up right now and send it to Zeke.
You could potentially have it wrong because Cesaro and Rollins actually cut promos against each other and accept it. I accept you. Challenge. I accept. Don't be getting the hey.
If Corbin's
get the
there,
fucking name.
Hey, I'm telling you, that's what it said.
Listen, it's Cesaro Rollins, yeah. Just that word by ear.
Well, they got to work on their Twitter then because I saw that this morning.
Well, maybe the person looking at the Twitter has to work on it. But the Baron Corbin first match is going to be awesome. Okay, Baron Corbin and I were teammates at the Indianapolis Colts when he was just a football offensive lineman.
Mm-hmm.
Big guy. We used to go out like every night together. He stayed at my house numerous lengths of time. We have a great relationship where immediately upon seeing each other, we are pretty much on the same page immediately. And whenever he is doing something, I cannot wait to hear what comes out of my mouth. So whenever you said there's Corbin Rollins tonight, not only is that wrong.
Well, they're both wrestling.
Because Cesaro Rollins is tomorrow or whatever, big deal or whatever. That's a massive matchup. It's a WrestleMania rematch, by the way. So have a little bit of respect. Have a little bit of respect for that. Actually, Cesaro got his first ever WrestleMania win. I think his first ever WrestleMania match over Rollins.
Of course.
And Rollins. So you just kind of disrespected all that. But what you did to me, you see, what you did to me on the inside, when you said Corbin Rollins, I was like, okay, Corbin. Here we go. And then I immediately thought you're a stooge and you're wrong.
Hand up, that's on me.
Yeah, it is. Let's move along. I wasn't planning. Ty Schmidt's here, Buster Connor's here, all the boys in the back. We appreciate the hell out of you. I wasn't planning on doing the Aaron Rodgers song and dance again.
No, not at all.
Hockey last night was awesome. Incredible. Hockey last night, Capitals, Rangers. 1 night removed from Tommy fucking Wilson taking somebody's head and jamming it into the ice and fighting another, and somebody getting injured that they're out for the rest of the year, and Tom Wilson only getting a $5,000 suspension with a laundry list of these types of incidents in his history. Everybody's pissed. The Rangers actually ended up firing their president and GM because the president and the GM were not on board with the Rangers owner, James Dolan, yes, from the Knicks, wanting to release a statement saying the people at the NHL should be fired for not punishing Tommy Wilson harder. So this was an entire day of promotion. Hey, this is how hockey is, okay? Hockey's one of the only places you can watch, and there's tradition from way back in the day that makes its way into the current world. Comeuppance is a real thing in hockey. Refs even believe in it, and that made its public, its national audience, or its public just a couple months ago when an old ref who said, hey, I had to get one on the fucking Predators there.
Had to fucking get you, boys.
For the flow of the game, he had to do it. It's like hockey is something where there's a lot of tradition, there's a lot of history. This is how things go. Now, that might be to hockey's detriment. I'm not not 100% sure, but for me, I am a massive fan of whenever somebody's pissed off at somebody else, they're given an area where you can go do whatever you want. Listen, when two humans get into a cage and fight each other, I'm going to watch it, all right? I won't do it, okay? I have the utmost respect for the people who do it, but I respect the fact that that's available for people to do as a living. Hockey is this incredibly graceful sport. You have to be able to ice skate, which is impossible. You have to be able to have dexterity with your hands while handling the stick. You have to have great vision, cardio. Your strength has to be there. It is an incredibly beautiful sport. But last night, 6 fights in the first period, okay? As soon as the puck dropped to start that whole thing, 3 fights immediately for the comeuppance for what Tom Wilson did. The only issue was the Capitals and Tommy Wilson were the reason why this happened, okay? It's the reason why this fight happened. But their team is built for this type of thing.
Yeah.
They were actually probably just as excited as we were about what was going to happen in this game last night in Madison Square Garden. Tommy Wilson's not on the ice to begin this whole thing. They have another group. As soon as the puck drops, here we go. 3 fights, 3 go right into the goddamn penalty box. All right, so everybody's excited. Pierre Maguire, I think, was on the call, and he was, hey boys, I think we thought this was when it was coming or whatever. You know, let's go. Yeah, is that it or whatever? And then Tom Wilson gets on the ice for his first shift, and they're like, okay, here we go. And there was a guy named something Smith, and this son of a bitch, this unlucky son of a bitch had to be the guy who had to go fight Tom Wilson. I assume this was a decision made by the coach in the locker room, which I believe they call. Do they call it a locker room? No, I think they
locker room. Yeah.
No, I think there's some
hockey den.
No, it's like I don't know. I think the Canadians have something for it. We have Gumpy here, but he hates Canada, so
true.
I mean, we don't really know. But anyways, I assume in the locker room there was actual conversation, like, okay, who's got Tom? Smith was either like, I got him, or they're like, Smith's got him. He's like, God damn it. So as soon as Tom gets on the ice, all right, he like makes a pass. You see one Ranger guy like kind of skate away, and then there's another guy coming right at him. And the thing about Tom Wilson, everybody wanted him suspended. Everybody wanted him fined like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Everybody in the NHL that isn't a Capitals fan is like, get this guy out of the fucking league. Capitals fans are like, we love this guy. He's really good at hockey. Yeah. He's really handsome. He's not scared to do things. He beat the fuck out of this guy.
Oh, yeah.
So the Rangers do this entire, God bless your soul, Foxy, Jesus.
Oh, my God.
May the Lord be with you. But he was the reason for this entire fight that the Rangers had to do this whole thing. He gets on the ice after 3 people already fight. He beats the fuck out of a guy. Okay, he goes into the penalty box, takes his shirt off. He's standing there. There's 4 wide now. 2 more fights happen. They got 6 deep. They're standing in there talking shit to the Rangers. Like, that's not the penalty box. That's just the actual roster. That's the team after. That's the penalty box. 6 people packed into that thing after fight. There's Tom Wilson smiling, by the way. Just got a New Jersey. Now, he did not finish the game. They just sent him out there. The Capitals almost did their own, like, all right, we'll suspend him for a game, basically. Like, this is just going to be a fight every single time. They understand that's how hockey is. But I loved it. I'd assume the ratings went down immensely after Chara had a conversation. Chara, by the way, from Boston, is a 6'9" guy, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
And he's just somebody that beats the fuck out of everybody. But at the end of the first period, he actually goes over to the Rangers bench, I guess, and goes, hey, we doing this again? Because I will get involved. They kind of settled out from there. But what a night for hockey. I absolutely loved it. Nick, this is good. I saw the hockey purists. A lot of people are coming after me because I was like, this is hockey. This isn't hockey. This is not good for hockey. It's like, all right, tell me the ratings, and then tell me what happened immediately after those fights happened, what the interest level was. And I'm not saying this happens every night, but this is what separates hockey from other top sports, is that you can handle something as if it's 1925.
Yeah.
Like, hey, if you need to handle it, let's handle it. Now, that Washington team is able to do whatever they want, okay? They're built to fight people.
They're built to handle it.
They do bully people. And the Rangers probably always felt like, God damn it, we got it. Why did they have to do that?
Boys.
Why'd they have to do that to us, boys? And they just send out sacrificial lambs or whatever. But that was good for hockey last night. And hockey people aren't going to say it was good for hockey. I obviously want everybody to be healthy and everything like that. But a sport that still has that, Nick, you guys got to be pumped over there in the hockey world.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter what the purists say, because that's the way the league wants it. They want the players to settle, and they want the players to police themselves and handle it on the ice. And they did. These two teams, now they're done playing each other for the season. Something will probably carry over into the next season, but the Rangers are going to have to bulk up if they want to battle with the Capitals next year.
Well, not just the Rangers. I think it's everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Them bringing in Chara when they already had Oshie and they already had Tom Wilson. I mean, they Ovechkin, who can get after it if he has the Russians will get after it. It feels like that team is one that if they decide that they want to humiliate you, they will. And you're going to have to stand up for all that's good for hockey. And what you're running into is a buzzsaw. I think the Rangers might have won one of the fights last night, maybe. And it wasn't like a clean win. I respect the fact that they did. They won out, on their shield for their guy that got, treated. I love that a lot. But the Capitals all day were thinking like, yeah, we hope.
Can't wait.
Fucking bring it, boys.
Hey, I would like to see, how they do the tunnel shots of teams?
Ooh.
I would like to see the Capitals in there fucking, all right, here we go. Let's get there before that game. And then the Rangers are probably just like, no, fuck.
Damn it.
Why did it have to happen to us?
I think that's the biggest criticism of it all is because I think everyone sees, who's not a Capitals fan, they see Tom Wilson, they see him run around and do all these things he does on the ice, they get pissed off. And the league is like, well, the players will take care of it themselves. Well, the fans are like, listen, no one's taking care of Tom Wilson because they can't. He's feeding everybody fists.
They wanted this guy gone years ago for similar actions that he's doing. The New York Rangers have been fined $250,000. The National Hockey League announced today that the New York Rangers have been fined $250,000 for their public comments on Tuesday, May 4th. Public comments of the nature issued by the Rangers that were personal in nature and demeaning of a league executive will not be tolerated, said NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman. While we don't expect our clubs to agree with every decision rendered by the Department of Player Safety, the extent of which the Rangers expressed their disagreement was unacceptable. It is terribly unfair to question George Peros' professionalism and dedication to his role and the Department of Player Safety. All right, George. Hey, you win.
That's a boy, George.
You win, all right? $250,000 fine. Dolan's still the owner. The president and GM who probably told Dolan, we're probably going to get like a $250,000 fine if you do this. Don't you, fuck you.
Shut up.
Tweet it out.
My money.
They're fired. What a time. Good for the NHL. Got fights. You got a little drama. Now, listen, the hockey purists aren't going to like it because the sport is awesome without all of that. But, hey, if we can get more people to watch hockey, I think that's good for everybody.
Yeah, we need what happened last night to be happening at least once a week.
Yeah.
And at least one hockey game a week. We need the boys just fucking dropping mitts and beating the shit out of each other and then playing. It's awesome.
Ty, you're going to get attacked by the hockey people.
I might,
but he's
hey,
right. I mean, the new team, the Seattle Kraken, they should strictly sign players who will go to war with them every single week.
So the goons and the protectors used to be a real thing in hockey. And then Nick says, the league wants the players to kind of figure it out, but they have also put in a lot of rules and benefits to not kind of doing the old school fighting stuff, right? Wasn't fighting they were trying to phase it out of the game almost. They were. A couple years ago, they were trying to phase fighting out of the game completely, weren't they?
Yeah, they weren't going to straight up eliminate it, but the way they adjusted the flow of the game with the rules, and they realized they had a lot of skill in that they could capitalize on that. So they went that route as opposed to kind of promoting the heavyweight bouts and all that. So you don't really see like the George Peroses, who is the Department of Player Safety head. He used to be a straight up fighter. 1,000 career penalty minutes.
Oh, so that's why Tom Wilson.
Weapon.
Hey, you're cool with me, pal.
Yeah.
Now, that would go to the Rangers' point of his professionalism being questioned.
But Tom can play. George couldn't really play.
But he was great at probably interfering and slowing the game down and keeping the stars safe and could fight and
great
everything,
mustache
and everything like that. But when you talk about them trying to open a game up to get a little bit more speed, I think, by the way, as a fan of hockey who has watched hockey, I think it getting faster was good for hockey. That's like one of the more spectacular things about hockey. But when you can take a trip back in time real quick, and it's just like you fucked with one of our friends, okay, well, we got to fight you now, and that is just. That's really cool. I like it. I wish more sports would be able to do that.
And people who watch the show understand that usually when hockey gets brought up, it's a sentence, and then that's hockey talk.
That's hockey talk.
So
that's the whole podcast, by the way.
Yeah, it's its own because of that. And look how long we've talked about hockey because of these fights. Like, come on, make it happen.
And by the way, I'm sorry, I did not hear you there, Zito. I have a cut inside of my ear.
Oh no! From what?
I have no idea. I think it might have been a
Did the raccoon catch you?
No, it wouldn't have been a raccoon, but maybe it was Scootsy.
Could have been.
You think too deep of a Q-tip?
Or maybe I thought maybe I might scrape something in there, but then there would have had to been something in there.
Oh, your Q-tips expired.
I don't know if that happens with us. I'm not
They get hard. Oh yeah.
I'm not sure they do. Do they?
I think so.
They have that new thing where you can go in there with
the
a
spiral
camera,
thing?
like an app,
Yeah.
and you can see it and pull it out.
They got
Who
candles.
the hell's trying to do
too.
that?
What's that?
Who the hell's trying to do
Well, if
that?
you have a cut, you want to see it.
I want to let you know. Right now, I would love to do that, just so I can see. Is this a cut?
Yeah.
What is this thing going on in here? Because it does hurt. But there was when I popped my eardrum, when I put a hole in my eardrum, no big deal. Fought a wave, fought back. And that's going to happen. Just like in hockey, like fights are going to happen. Yeah. And my eardrum burst in first day, maybe first minute actually of spring break, one particular trip. So it was a rough day. It was too close to season, couldn't get it surgically repaired. So I was actually playing in stereo for an entire year. So it was and then it kind of healed itself and that whole thing. But my ears began to create a lot of earwax.
Yeah.
So my ear, for whatever reason, I think it was immediately happening there. So to go in and potentially schedule the surgery, they had to clear out the earwax. And the ear, nose, throat doctor, which I forget the name, they had one of those things that they're selling now, but it was like a super high level one that had a camera on it and it was on a screen or whatever. Watching it it's like oddly satisfying, actually. Yeah. It's really? Like it is an interesting thing to kind of see it. And then they showed me my eardrum. They're like, "Yep, you're fucked right there."
Look at that hole.
Yeah, there is a hole.
Looks
right
like a
there.
grenade went off inside there.
About 12 to 2:30 there. That thing gets to 3. That could be a real problem, but your body should heal itself or whatever. It's like, well, I don't think it ever did. And the earwax thing has maintained the entire problem. So
you can buy that thing?
No, because it looked Mickey Mouse. I want to get the one that the doctor had. Because that thing was like a
machine.
Like an actual rig you get into?
Yeah, it was like a real thing. And he had a Splunking helmet on, too.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of Splunking, it is time to explore a story that has captivated the sports media.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't like to do this all the time, okay? I don't like to do this all the time.
Nope.
But when it happens, you got to do it.
That's right.
Trey Lance gets drafted 3 overall. What a celebration.
Yeah.
Hey, was that not a celebration?
Yeah, it was
Massive. A lot of money.
That was a celebration. Trey Lance, our insider had it, our source had it. We knew it. We announced it. We did this whole thing. Went out there on a limb because a lot of people put a lot of money quickly on that.
Had to.
That became something very quickly like, hey, all right, a lot of things changed there on draft day. Mac Jones was locked in. Had to celebrate that. So then the same story, though, same day that got very big, was an Aaron Rodgers Green Bay Packers situation that Adam Schefter had reported. And we have to report on this, obviously, because it's the MVP of the NFL. We're a pretty dominant NFL show. Aaron Rodgers comes on our show on a regular basis, friend of the show. We've got a chance to learn a lot about Aaron Rodgers, and I feel like kind of see a side of Aaron Rodgers that we've never seen before because Aaron is always very guarded, I think, with most media members. So in turn, there's a chance that a smug, asshole vibe could be portrayed, especially if he's not being nice to the people that are portraying information. Okay? So maybe the people that are portraying information about people have an interesting feel about the person. So the way they're naturally talking about them is in a fashion that may not be reality. And I think we've learned that here the last season, getting a chance to talk to the guy 17 times.
Yeah.
Answered every question.
For sure.
Talked about everything. There was a couple things we didn't bring up maybe on the spot immediately following a game, but in weeks future, we did ask about it to go. I feel like he was brutally honest. We learned a lot about that guy. So whenever this report came out, day of, our immediate reaction was like, this is not Aaron putting this information out. We thought people that thought Aaron was putting this information out on draft day via Schefter were actual idiots. Like, did anybody read that article? We got attacked for saying that. We were blind. I was selective honesty was my trait of choice, is what people were telling me. People were telling me that I had no more credibility whenever I spoke about things because my friendship with Aaron wouldn't let me get past knowing that he's a prima donna who dropped this information to steal the draft weekend. And I continue to say, no, that's just not the case. He has not told me, by the way. I do not want him to tell me, okay, because his only thing of talking was he was disappointed this was publicly. So it's not like I'm going to be like, hey, you're disappointed it's public. Why don't you give me some shit to say? Like that's just not how I would like our relationship to go, and I don't think we have the conversation. But we have continued, said, there's no way Aaron put this information out. The entire narrative, Packers fans, all media people were like, this is Aaron. Then the Jerry Krause text messages started. Now they're like, oh, so Aaron, which is alleged, by the way. Absolutely alleged. There is no clue if that's true. Bob McGinn, who I did not know existed, writer for The Athletic, obviously has a lot of juice because now Aaron Rodgers thinks he's Michael Jordan. Aaron Rodgers wants out of Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers wants to steal the draft from these young kids. Aaron Rodgers wants all of the attention. That is what people were saying about Aaron. And we continue to stand in the foxhole, okay, and say that's just not the way this whole thing. We do not know for sure, but just being a human that read the article could say this was not Aaron. Then numerous other people that aren't maybe have as knowledgeable with Aaron as we are after talking for so, they're like, this doesn't feel like it's Aaron, right? It's like, obviously this is not Aaron. This morning, Adam Schefter, the man who wrote the article and teased the article on NFL Live on Thursday, April 29th, draft day, draft spectacular day. He was on OG Dan Patrick's show this morning. Bombs all over the place. This is like a 2-minute clip. Just go ahead and sit down and listen. And then immediately afterwards, if you were coming at me for slurping Raj, fucking take a hike, pal. Run this, please.
It was just about a week ago. A couple hours from now, where Adam Schefter came on SportsCenter and said basically that Aaron Rodgers wanted out of Green Bay. Walk me through that. Did you get a phone call or text?
You know, Dan, the funny part about it is that I've heard people say, oh, Aaron Rodgers wanted that out before the draft. I can assure you Aaron Rodgers did not want that out before the draft. I've had people say the Green Bay Packers planted that. It was a very pro-Packer story.
Yeah.
I can assure you the Green Bay Packers didn't plant that. When people guess at where stories come from, more often than not, they're usually wrong. And in this case, they're wrong. This was an accumulation all during the offseason of just listening to people talk and observing. And if we go back to the NFC Championship game that the Green Bay Packers lost at home, did we not hear Aaron Rodgers after that game talk about his level of unhappiness, if you will, uncertainty for the future? Just go back and listen to that press conference, and it sounds almost like he's saying goodbye to Green Bay. And so your antenna's up, and I'm just telling you, throughout the course of the offseason, there was rarely a week that went by where I didn't hear something about Aaron Rodgers. And on draft day, there's a report that morning from Paul Allen out in Minneapolis that the 49ers made a draft offer, which they didn't make an offer. They never made an offer. And other people are saying that the 49ers called. And I said, how long till it gets out that Aaron Rodgers wants out of Green Bay? Is it next week? Is it next when he doesn't show to the OTAs? Is it next month when he isn't? It's going to come out. What does it matter if it comes out now or next week or next month? And so
you chose to break the news on draft day.
That is absolutely accurate. Correct.
But it wasn't something that you got information about.
No.
Oh, okay. Okay.
No, and there was nothing that morning that came in and all of a sudden said to me,
Dan.
yeah, he wants out. You should report this. Like, it was going on all off season. You just keep hearing it. And there was more and more talk. And now there's starting to be Aaron Rodgers talking. I said, you know what? This isn't going to wait much longer. Let's just go. It just happened to be draft day.
Oh.
Because I wondered when you said it didn't come from Rodgers, didn't come from the Packers, and it's being characterized differently. I was wondering, okay, you're not going to tell me your source. You know, what was the motive behind that? Yeah.
Dan, there's not a source.
No, I know, but I know that now. But we're just finding this out right now.
Dan's basically like,
well, I said this. I said it on NFL Live. I said it on my podcast. I said it. You know, I mean,
okay.
I don't know. People want to believe whatever they want to believe.
Okay, so Dan was like, I mean, we didn't know that. I mean, shout out to Dan, by the way, kind of processing. Oh, okay. You could tell there was a couple things he said there where he was like, wait a minute, is this? Because I assume Dan Patrick had to cycle through, like, is this how breaking news works? Like, is this something they would do? Dan's probably like, yeah, probably. Schefter, one of ESPN's biggest days is the draft day, right? The draft is a massive day for ESPN, probably a lot of eyes. Maybe that. Now, Schefter said just so happened to be draft day, which maybe that is the case. But it didn't come from Aaron. He didn't mean to steal the draft. And maybe it didn't come from the Packers, by the way, even though in his article he leads off with league and team sources have told us. And maybe they just had to confirm whenever Schefter said, I'm going to write this article. So maybe the team said, yeah, there are current disputes going on. Who knows how they get around the legal mumbo jumbo with how they word everything. But all the people that were attacking Aaron Rodgers saying this is him trying to be a prima donna and all this shit, like, that was not the case at all. And maybe the Packers didn't do it. Now, why would the Packers want to do it? Because they would think, just like Schefter, this is going to get out inevitably. We would like to paint the narrative that we have tried everything here in the last couple months to get Aaron back, even though we maybe have pissed him off in the past, even though we're not going to admit that publicly, but we understand we have. So now we're trying to make it right or whatever. So maybe that's why they would want it out. But whatever the case, nobody was happy between Aaron and Green Bay, I assume, that this has become what it has become. And I assume Schefter knew what this was going to become as soon as he released it.
Yeah, for sure. And it's tough because, it seems like at this point, like, do you think even like with that coming out, like, can that... It seems like the court of public opinion is already kind of swayed, and like,
it is, isn't it?
I mean, it kind of seems like that, and being here, you're obviously not as entrenched in it as it is like up there, but shit, he was on the Jumbotron at the Brewers game the other night, and they booed him. Like that's wild. So you hope that people can be like, okay, so it's not like he was coming out and trying to, just force this, but it seems like it is kind of already.
Isn't it crazy
though
that the Packers and Aaron, right, have not really come out and addressed this entire thing at all. And that's because there potentially is real heavy conversations happening behind closed doors right now, where if they were to come out and speak, it might be a very different outcome 1 week from now than it is right now. So why would they want to potentially get out and say anything?
Rush to it.
Because, to be honest, I was starting to think to myself, like, hey, Aaron, like, could you put something out? Just some sort of something. But then now, and by the way, I always assume there's a reason, and I always assume there was some sort of action going on. But as I'm just eating these fucking rights and lefts from Packers fans telling me I'm a scumbag, basically, because I'm just blindly going to bat for a guy who's trying to ruin a franchise, especially after the free agent conversation.
Yeah.
And then, there was a full smear thing going on.
Oh, yeah.
And and now Schefter's like, it's accumulation. It's been a long time coming, yeah. Which is kind of what AJ has been saying this entire time, is like, this has been a long time coming. So, I feel like we're kind of new in this whole thing, but every once in a while when we talk, we could potentially be on the right side of things, especially things that are pretty important and kind of make sense whenever you look at it from a logical standpoint as opposed to, oh, this is going to be a massive standpoint.
Yeah.
And, that's just a different kind of mindset, I guess.
Well, and the biggest thing for me was that it was his decision to release it on Thursday on draft night. So that whole narrative of, Rodgers wants to steal the spotlight, like, that's complete bullshit.
Everything's complete bullshit that we've
All of it. Yep.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Now, did he text somebody that is friends with Bob McGinn and called Günther Kuntz Jerry Krause? We're going to have to find out.
It's possible.
But even that, people are taking that and saying, oh, Aaron Rodgers thinks he's Michael Jordan.
Yeah, it's and that has not been. Do we have screenshots of it? Do you have?
No.
And by the way, screenshots of text messages now with the way the internet is. How do we know that's true? And if somebody's in a group text with him that he feels comfortable enough to say that type of thing about his boss, potentially, let's assume that person would hopefully not just go,
that's not getting leaked,
right to Bob McGinn.
Right.
There's a lot of human factors in here that a lot of things that I think to myself, like, this doesn't add up. Like, this doesn't seem to make sense. And by the way, contract disputes and things that happen in business of the NFL, this shit happens, all right? Whenever the new regime came in here at the Indianapolis Colts, there was a lot of people having conversations behind closed doors that were potentially getting a little bit contentious in this entire thing too. So this is something that happens. I assume that Green Bay and Aaron had to know that at some point this might going to get out, because who knows? Schrags came out and said maybe an angry agent or maybe another team wanted to let this out. Whatever the case is, we just all sit and wait, I guess, to see how this all pans out and what bullshit has kind of shifted over into the ocean of post-draft cycle, because that feels like that's what we had to do all draft cycle, is figure out what's real, what isn't real. This one, we have to figure this whole thing out as well again.
Yeah, and then this morning, John Kuhn, former Packers fullback, who I think is fairly close with Rodgers, said that he has talked to him in like the last week and that he does see there being a situation where there could be a resolution between the two. And I think the headline said, that Rodgers wanted to be in Green Bay until he was 40. So who knows? Hopefully we'll get some clarity at some point here, but maybe we won't.
And to be honest, I did not want to talk about this today.
No.
It is exhausting.
I had gotten absolutely fed up with it. Like, actually this morning I'm like, all right, we're not doing it. We're not going to do it. Can't do it again. Until there's real shit, we're not going to talk about it. And then this comes out, it's like, well, this is real shit, but it's not real shit. So it's like, when can we get some real shit?
Yeah, by the way, he did just win the MVP too. So he's not Michael Jordan, but he's the best fucking ball thrower in the NFL. So
well, there's now, yeah. Oh, so he must think he's Michael Jordan.
He's Michael. Well,
is that what he? That's.
But he's the most valuable player.
No, it was a text message that allegedly happened, and now you're going to go. You could see why Aaron potentially hates a lot of people. Not that he does, but chooses not to talk to a lot of people, or potentially says, "I'm not doing anything with it." You could see because everything.
Oh yeah, people love taking pot shots.
Hey, everything.
Love it.
It was just an opportunity here,
Yeah,
and
wild.
Schefter. I wonder if Schefter knew that this was going to happen.
Feels like he may have had an inkling that could possibly happen.
He took a big sip out of that coffee right in the middle of his answer. What, Dan? Dan Patrick, incredible information. We appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
OG over there. Talked to Paul, asked him if we could use the video. Good peoples. This is Pat McAfee Show. We're back in 4 minutes. We'll answer some phone calls. 1-833-4-McAfee. Does that line work still? Yeah?
I think
Yeah,
so.
it's working yesterday.
Awesome. That's why I stuttered pretty hard there between phone calls, because I was thinking
Double checking
which line
Yeah.
is working. 1-833-4-McAfee is off and running. We'll talk to you and JC Tretter today, the player president of the NFLPA.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk to him about all things happening with workouts outside of the club's facilities and insurance policies, who owes what. We'll talk to him about the offseason and what they're telling rookies and everything else going on with the NFLPA. AJ Hawk will join us in about 30 minutes. This is the Pat McAfee Show. We'll see you in 4. Today's event is me versus a Carolina Reaper pepper. A pepper that has what?
2.2 million Scoville on average. I think it's pretty much the hottest pepper in the world.
In comparison, a jalapeno is
6,000 Scoville.
For every second after it is in my mouth, I don't grab this milk. We'll give $25 to a random person in the comments section right now. $4,500 feels like a good amount to give away, though. And that'd be 3 minutes. This is going to be a long 3 minutes.
That's redder than devil's dick. That crunch. How we doing so far? Doesn't look too bad.
I should have taken a drink of water beforehand, though, because I think I had a dry mouth. I had a little cotton mouth. Oh.
Oh, okay. Once the hiccups start, I think you're just about done for. What's your biggest regret in life? Do you have 2 more minutes in you?
I think it's just starting to hit like the peak. The curve on this thing is just starting to go up.
You are handling this much better than Bill did, though. You are, yeah. Billy Tubes was puking 10 seconds in. 130. 130.
It's burning my esophagus.
Do you feel like you're going to puke?
Oh, I do.
God, that milk looks ice cold, too.
No! Man!
Beer that broke my heart. Hey, one more.
I'm getting lightheaded now. 45 more seconds in here?
Yep. Now we go.
Oh my God.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Dance with me.
How you feel now?
A little bit better, but not quick. Oh my God. That's a bad idea. I need more.
More milk.
Oh God, God. Yikes. Massive giveaway at the end of this thing. Stick around. It'll be worth it. Thank you. I'll tell you what, it's pretty cool. Roger Goodell gave me a big hug beforehand, too, so that's good, sir. Thank you so much. Shane, you drinking? Yeah. Cheers to you, man. That was a good one. That was good. I feel like it went pretty good. Oh, look at the phone. This thing.
A little finicky.
Yeah, it didn't.
A little slow today.
Let's see.
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. We thank you for taking the time to seek out this small regional show that streams internationally. Here's Pat and the boys.
Welcome back to the show. That's it, man. Welcome back. It is Thursday, May 6th, 2021. Big day, big day.
Huge.
We decided as a show to move along from the Aaron Rodgers Packers story. Then this morning, Adam Schefter goes on OG Dan Patrick show and talks about the release of the story, how he made the decision. There was no news breaking, did not come from Aaron's team, blah, blah, blah. You know, very interesting, fascinating. And I think this was mentioned by AJ whenever we talked off air. He'll be joining us here soon. Can't believe that got out on Dan Patrick's show.
Instead of on
Yeah,
ESPN,
on the ESPN show.
Yeah. Huh, that is interesting.
Or is that on purpose? Because Schefter did say, I said this on my podcast.
He
I
did
said
say
this on
that,
blah,
yeah,
blah, blah.
NFL Live.
Maybe it was on purpose and be like, yeah, well, you do this on Dan, it'll go, whatever. And maybe that's the whole thing. I don't know. But that is something to think about. Like, now we have to think about the rollout of the actual story.
Next level.
Now we have to start thinking about all the reaction to it. And Schefter, by the way, when he says something, it's going to move. Like, that's because that's what Schefter is. Woj, Shefty, Shams, Rappaport.
Yep.
When those four basically say something, normally it's, okay, here's some real shit from somebody who knows some real things.
Yeah, they know.
In this particular time, Schefter was like, just kind of a crude information. Just kind of
Gathered it over a period of time.
Then Bruce Allen in Minnesota released something. Just so happened to be draft day. What a moment for us, man.
I mean,
Incredible.
what are you going to do?
We got buried. I was getting attacked by people. I had brand new Packers fans listening to this show.
Yeah.
You know, because the way things are going.
Fuck these guys.
They hated us, man. I was getting attacked, dude, by a lot of people. Still am, by the way. Some people, you know, the classic. You should just name this the Aaron Rodgers Show, and it's like, hey, listen, I would if you wanted. If you wanted to retire, come on in, dude.
Good for business.
Fascinating guy. He's a fascinating guy, incredibly deep thinking. Enjoy the conversation. He'll probably be hosting Jeopardy at some point in his life or another show whenever he wants to do it. But it's the NFL MVP, a bullshit story. And he happens to be closely associated with our show for now. Who knows how everything will go for on. We have to cover this thing. And by the way, we're not the only ones. Connor, I know you've been looking around.
That's
the
right.
Aaron Rodgers story that dropped on draft day, just so by happenstance, basically, by Schefter. Just so happened to be draft day, this story. And by the way, Schefter, that's what insiders are supposed to do, by the way.
right.
So, like, in his job, a lot of people are saying, oh, Schefter, this is bullshit or whatever. Schefty, inside information, dropped it. Mega explosion afterwards.
Yeah.
I feel like that is a success in Schefter's. Whether you do or not, I think Schefter probably feels like, this is what This is what my job is supposed to be.
Yeah, for sure. And like he said, I mean, it's not like there was actually like a trade with the 49ers, but like if this would have come out, on draft night or whatever, and he didn't report, he would have felt like an asshole.
Schefter would have felt like an asshole.
Yeah.
But with Schefter doing that, what it has done now is just not only our show. People are attacking us. I just got this about Aaron, blah, 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 blah. People are attacking me for this. And our show should be covering this type of thing, I think, as should everybody, because it's the NFL's MVP. The Green Bay Packers, one of the most storied franchises in NFL history, coming fresh off an MVP and maybe a massive nugget being dropped about the future of the NFL, okay? We're going to everybody's talking about this. And the questions and the way things are being talked about with this around other shows is absolutely incredible. And I almost have like a more of a respect for sports media for what they were able to do with this entire story. Here's some of the questions that were being asked at Boston Connor Loves. We will not answer these, but just a showcase of the incredible thought that has to go into a news break to create potential conversations. How do we generate, good conversations? These are the questions we ask.
We mentioned it earlier. Does Aaron Rodgers view himself as Michael Jordan in Green Bay?
Okay, that's the perfect sports media question because guess what? Michael Jordan gets brought up. Guess who else gets brought up? LeBron James.
Yep.
LeBron James gets brought up. Guess who else gets brought up? Tom Brady now because Aaron Rodgers gets brought up. And then even Peyton Manning. It's almost like if you could get Jerry Jones in there somehow.
Yeah.
You could, and Tim Tebow. You could almost make the perfect concoction for great conversation in the sports media world that's going to garner a lot of attention. You could see how they would tie those two together and why whenever I led off this show doing a victory lap, and I said, like, now they're questioning whether or not he's Michael Jordan. Like, this is a fake thing. It's almost impressive, though. Yeah. It's almost impressive what they're able to dive deep into to kind of get them in the spot where they're like, this would be good enough for people to find entertaining, we think. Go ahead. What else?
Which side looks worse right now? Aaron Rodgers or Green Bay?
And that was because beginning the tide was on Aaron's side.
Yeah.
Because immediately upon this happening, and this is before a lot more slanderous things were seemingly getting dropped from one side and on another side, even though it might not be that side, it might be somebody else. It's because everybody, this guy, you see what's going on in Tampa? Yeah. You see what's going on in Kansas City. This guy's 36. You've seen some of the moves that are maybe conservative, maybe thinking down the road, whatever their thoughts are. You see all this shit happening. You could see how maybe at a point a guy would be like, hey, I would like a little bit of this. Like, is there any way we can do this with where I am? Now, that's without even thinking about all the little things that have potentially happened over the years that we're also learning about. Like, how about this? Remember this? This happened to Jordy. This happened to Kuhn. This happened to Kumro. This happened to insert name of other. There's been a lot of, there's been a history of that type of stuff happening. Without even thinking about that, it was easy for us to see Aaron see what's going on in other places and be like, why can we not? Yeah. We've been to 2 NFC championships. Everybody else that's up here in these championship games, they're doing something else. Now, I understand with the rest of the NFL, okay, if that's what we're going to do, okay, we just made 2 NFC championships. I'm 36 years old. I'm in my prime right now, but probably 6 more years of here if I really want to, 7, 8 maybe, however health is. But we can really tighten up here and win some things if we want to, like what everybody else is doing. You can say, then all of a sudden the narrative changed. It was like, no, Aaron dropped this on draft day. He's a selfish prick. He's an asshole.
Telling free agency's leaving.
Years, they said. It was years, and then now it's come out. No, just this year he's saying that. It's like, okay, those are 2 very different stories. If he's been doing this for years, okay, the Packers fans are going to be very pissed off. Like, oh, you can't do what they're doing in Tampa because you've been doing that. So it wouldn't make sense if that was true, but that got out there. People started believing. Then the text message about Jerry Krause. Then all the other shit, the flights that happened out there, 3 individual flights to turn this whole thing around. It's like at that moment, it felt like the tide started to turn completely on Aaron. So obviously talking about who's winning is Judge Judy makes $80 million a year doing it.
That's right.
Okay.
Well said.
Judge Judy, who is it? It's a good idea. It's a good conversation piece. You can see how they do it. But this is all from one news break that Adam Schefter, now we're learning, just decided to put out on draft day. This is everything that's happening in the sports media. I think we're learning here as we go on. Is there any other questions?
Yeah, I got one more. Rodgers mocked Packers GM in group texts with teammates. Are these jabs fair or foul?
Oh, are they fair or foul?
Good question.
And this then leads to, by the way, Jerry Krause and his credibility, which leads to who? Michael Jordan. Okay, which then leads to LeBron James. Which also, if you have them all in a conversation, you have to then go get Tom Brady. Okay, so.
And then boom, you got 3 hours of TV.
Bang!
Yeah. Those are the 3 pillars of sports talk.
Now, we added hockey in there, but it got us 46 minutes so far.
Yeah.
So I guess we can't blame them, but I can understand if you're a little bit tired of the coverage of this story, because I want to let you know I walked in this morning, I was fed up as well.
Yeah.
And then Schefter comes in, it's like, All right, so that's it. When AJ joins us in 20 minutes, we have to ask him if he has any updates, because he is the insider to the insider for all these stories.
Correct.
He potentially was the one who called Gutekunst Jerry Krause in a group text.
Right.
If I had to guess.
Yeah, well, he actually said it yesterday.
Yeah.
He actually said it yesterday.
Because his name is Aaron as well.
Yeah.
So someone. Oh, there it is.
Oh, wait. It was
or if it
Hawk.
was an unknown phone number and it was a new group text.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe could have confused, you know, that whole thing. But anyways, we'll ask him if he has any fucking new news. And if he doesn't, we're moving on.
I mean, easy solution to this would probably be what? Getting an owner for the Packers tomorrow and then just go on
See,
from
then
there?
there's another conversation that we had, that we went into. It's like, this is where an owner would be great because he'd be able to sit both sides down like Kraft had to do with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. They at least got one more year and a Super Bowl out of that thing once they had that happen. But in Green Bay, do you have that? You don't have that. Is that a good model going forward? Then that's the man. All from Adam Schefter saying, man, might as well.
Yeah.
That's what he basically said.
Don't have a choice.
He really didn't, though. Because if that gets out from somebody else, that's a massive story. Just like the Andrew Luck retirement thing, he drops it in the fourth quarter of a preseason game with 300 fans sitting there. He probably has that information, and he thinks to himself, if I don't put this out, somebody else will. But I'm going to go ahead and create quite a scene here. He's going to get booed out of the stadium, just like Aaron Rodgers got booed out of the Brewers.
Yeah.
So Adam Schefter leaks stories have gotten 2 generational quarterbacks booed by their own fans. Let's keep that in mind.
And it brought Krause back to being an absolute scumbag.
No. I disagree. I think this time there's been a lot more compliments for Jerry Krause. I think this time there's been a lot more. A lot more people mentioning the 6 rings or whatever, the 6 championships. Yeah, Zito, you're not hearing that?
No, I just Crumbs. He didn't really do it.
What do you mean, dude?
Built the team. He didn't play out there though.
That'd be fucking made sure they got Tony Kukoc.
He didn't shoot the shots.
Yeah, but he wasn't out there shooting in the gym.
Hell yeah.
He did.
Practicing.
He did,
lifting
but
weights.
he did know that Michael Jordan was a special talent early and said, hey, we got to build around this guy. But then pigs get fed.
Hogs get slaughtered.
He wanted to do it again. He wanted to do it again. Doesn't matter if you go 82-0, you're still gone next year or whatever. It's like, hey, pretty fucked. All right, that's not how this works. That doesn't seem like that's good business.
Spite championship.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like that's how it should go. Let's go to Josh in Georgia. What's going on, Josh?
How's it going, Pat and the boys?
Hey, Josh, great to have you, pal. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I just got to let you know this is the best show, but it also stinks, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Josh.
I've been getting attacked a lot lately, so I appreciate that.
Hey, I'm here to back it up with a little support. I'm a diehard Packers fan, have been my whole life, and I'm on your side, man.
Thank you.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Josh.
Love you, Josh.
Not do this.
Thank you, Josh.
I think you're taking the logical approach. You guys stink, though.
Okay, thank you, Josh. I appreciate that.
Well said, Josh.
That means a lot. Josh gets it.
Crushed it.
There was an article written about us in Fanduel in Front Office Sports last night, and in the tweet to lead to the article. By the way, it was a good article about the sports gambling market and everything like that. It was an okay article, I guess. It was a good article. There was a lot of good points in there about the world and we live in. He talked about other people as if they were companies, and then talked about me as if we were just like sports media influencers, right? So I kind of found that disrespectful because we have a CFO who's smarter than the motherfucker over at FOS, who is the CFO. We have a sales team that's better than the motherfuckers over at FOS. We have an entire content creation crew that works here that creates numerous podcasts and generates revenue in plenty of different fashions, more diverse than fucking FOS. Whenever you say that more sports media influencers like Pat McAfee show to hire, first you're saying that they hired me to work for them. It's a partnership. Okay, my company has a partnership with their partnership, or with their company. But whenever you refer to other people as companies, by the way, other companies that our company is valued 4x of those companies.
Yeah.
That is, I just feel like a bit disrespectful. Michael McCarthy sent a follow-up tweet. He said, what did we say? We said something nice about you. I understand in your ignorant eyes you can think that what you said about me was nice, but you have no clue about the operation we're running here. You have no clue at all. We are running laps around your fucking company and you don't even know it. You're getting phased out and you have no fucking idea. So whenever you talk about other companies being companies and then you talk about us as being influencers, you can go fuck yourself. And I will buy Front Office Sports today if I fucking want to. That is something I could do. I could walk right down to a bank and say, I've read a little article about your company and I've decided, about what the price would be. I could do that with one trip to the bank and get your fucking company. So have a little bit more respect when you put my name in your fucking shit, all right? And not just me, you motherfucker. All these dudes that work their asses off here. People bust their ass for this show, this company, this business. And I would like a little bit more respect whenever you're talking about other groundbreaking people. Okay, thank you so much. Let's move forward. There's only one company in there that we can't catch. And that's Barstool because they're the fucking OGs of this thing. But all these other things that everybody's thinking is massive. Like, yo, fucking bow down, pal. All right, I ain't doing this shit much longer.
Didn't even know what that was until yesterday.
Did not know it existed either.
No.
I actually had to do research last night around 11 o'clock at night while I was about to fall asleep about how much could this company even be worth. Has anybody ever heard of this company? Could I just buy, because I was going to say, I could walk into your company right now, do the Ari Gold fucking Lloyd, like the whole, I could do the entire thing, I think. And then I found out they are worth a little bit of money or whatever. They do pretty good. Still buy them, no problem at all. But that is just, I felt like that was a backhanded shot that guy took at me. And if he didn't even realize that, he's even more ignorant than I thought he could be. And it's not just me, by the way. It is what we have built here that I don't like getting a lack of respect. I don't like that at all.
There's just a few too many articles. Once they start stacking on top of each other, it's like, all right, done with this fucking bullshit.
Yeah, I don't like doing interviews with these people that have no idea. And there's another, there's a whole thing.
Yeah.
I was all worked up. I don't like the boys being disrespected. I don't like
we
I don't
work
like
hard here.
Yeah, I don't like.
We do.
Like CFO Phil could go into their company and probably point out 75 things that they're fucking up if I had to guess. Just in the back end. That's just in the analytics nerd world that they're talking about. It's like our sales team, by the way, absolute lunatics. Okay, ridiculous human beings.
Nut jobs.
But they know this space better than anybody. We are very lucky to get to meet these dudes, actually.
Yeah.
And it's because of the company that we will never be able to catch, which is Barstool. But all these other companies that people are talking about on the internet, like, fucking relax, dude. Relax, bro.
I do think I speak for everyone here, though. Twitter is much better when you are just windmill dunking on people left and right. So if you want to keep doing that every Thursday.
I don't like doing it because we're lucky to have this.
Absolutely.
Like, we are very lucky to have this. I don't like going on and telling people like, oh yeah, like our company does this and this, which is all these bullshit people do. Okay, and I'm tired of hearing it. It's like, yo, just do your shit and keep it moving. But whenever you start like, this company and this is doing this, and then you're like, oh, these sports media influencer. It's like, bro, come on. We're smart. We can do things.
Yeah.
We can do stuff. I just don't like it. And the next deal we sign will probably, be an earth-shattering one if I had to guess, but it's just like, I don't like that disrespect for the whole office at all. I didn't like it one bit. And it was late, and I was a little tired, but I was wide awake. I was wide awake for about, 2-3 hours. Now, I'm assuming Front Office Sports does good things, okay? I'm assuming. This particular author, though, I just didn't appreciate the way the whole thing, and this isn't the first time, by the way. When a Fanduel article happens, it seems the same type of situation happens from the same group of people. It feels like it happens. And I always just want to be like, hey, your generation is irrelevant now. Oh,
bang!
Smack you in the mouth. Come here.
I want to. But there's good people in that generation too. So it's hard to do that, which is why I don't normally come out and do these types of things. But that guy pissed me off, all right? Don't talk shit about the boys, all right? I will go to war with a company I didn't even know existed. I'm sure we'll get past it. Of
course.
I've been told if you want to have a press release made, they're the company to go to.
Okay.
So we might have one or something like that.
That's going to be an interesting press release they make when you buy them and fire everybody. I wonder how that press release is going to go.
That'll be a lot of fun.
Just burn that whole thing down.
That'll be a blast. 2 a.m. I bought the place, by the way. 2 a.m. I had, yeah. Then cooler heads prevailed. I fell asleep, woke up this morning. Still wasn't thrilled, but then it just got brought up. I mean, maybe we try to make a go at it. Hour 2's on the other side. AJ Hawk, this is the Pat McAfee Show. If something happens one time, anomaly. Happens 2 times, it's like, oh, okay, maybe. But whenever there's a trend of 18 plus, 20 plus things being predicted, you got to go like, hey, Groening, the gig's up. We know. You're a time traveler.
Just tell us.
Bro, I just want to talk to you. I got so many questions. Siegfried and Roy tiger attack. Do you remember that?
Of course.
Do you remember back in the day how tight Siegfried and Roy were with their tigers? It was like every main story was like, oh, these tigers are the best behaved animals on earth, blah, blah, blah. Simpsons in 1993 said the tiger is going to turn. This little friendly tiger is going to become an enemy of Siegfried and Roy quickly, and it's going to happen. 2003, it actually happened. Autocorrect errors, 1994. Before you could even play Snake on the gray little box phone, they predicted that autocorrect will happen on your phone. Are you kidding me? Didn't happen until 2007. FaceTime, 1995. Not even a thought. I don't even know if anybody knew what the fuck the internet was.
Oh, that's that little mark with the A and then the ring around it. At. See, that's what I said.
Mm-hmm. No.
What is internet anyway?
In 1995, they said, don't worry, you'll be carrying around a device where you will be face-to-face with somebody on the opposite side of Earth. 1995, they said that. 2010, it happened. Faulty voter machines. 2008, they predicted it. 2012, it became the forefront of conversation in a big, big way. I assume these voter machines have been up in question for a long, long time, but they just knew that it was going to come to fruition in 2012.
No, I want to vote for Obama.
2 votes for McCain.
Come on, it's time for a change.
3 votes for McCain.
The God particle. Now, this is the big one. Ty Schmidt did research. He said the God particle is the absolute reason why he is 1,000% a time traveler. Homer Simpson got up there like fucking Matt Damon in that movie where they have that
Good Will Hunting.
Good Will Hunting, and draws up this equation for what the God particle is, which, what is the God particle?
Yeah, it's basically this equation that essentially like explains how the universe was created.
And they did that in 1998, and the exact equation happens in 2012.
That's unheard of.
14 years ahead of time. They got Homer Simpson up there looking like that goddamn janitor from Harvard, solving equations up on a chalkboard, and 14 years later, it's like, yeah, that's actually how the universe was founded. It's like, wait a fucking minute, little comedy writer with a goddamn yellow cartoon, bro? That's insane. The NSA spying scandal. Everybody knew that the Patriot Act was like in existence, but nobody had a clue that NSA literally knows everything about you. Every dick you've sent has been seen by some government agency, but it wasn't always like that. We didn't know that everything was getting spied on, Sean. Nobody knew that.
I didn't know.
They predicted that in 2007, 2013 it happened.
No, Lisa, it's not like the government is listening to everybody's conversation.
Smartwatches, 1995, they said it would happen. 2014, they came to fruition. America's Ebola outbreak, 1997, they said it. 2014, do you remember when Ebola hit? It was like, it was literally...
Hospitals like shutting down.
Oh, they had people wearing like hazmat suits, carrying people around because they were scared Ebola was possible. In the modern world, this was happening. Years and years and years and years ago, Matt Groening said this is going to happen. The FIFA corruption scandal, 2014, they called it. 2015, it came all crashing down. Everybody knew they were getting their pockets greased, making decisions, sending a World Cup to a goddamn desert. Matt Groening said it's going to happen. It happened. Greece's debt default, 2012, they called it. 2015, it happened. So many countries out there, by the way.
They picked Greece.
The exact country to happen. Trump's presidency, 2000, they called it. 2016, it came to fruition. The Simpsons called this. President Trump out there, and everybody probably looked at, those Simpsons guys are so funny. Bang, 16 years later, it is about to happen. It goes down. Lady Gaga Super Bowl halftime show, 2012, they called it. 2017. I mean, I think we all knew that she was born this way. She would probably get the halftime show at some point, but to the details that they had. These are not coincidences. Coincidenci. I don't know how you pronounce it.
How the fuck do they know this stuff?
It's
got to be time traveler.
Matt Groening is a time traveler. I have so many fucking questions. Disney's takeover of Fox, 1998, they said it. 2017, it happens.
the Shard in London, which is a building behind Big Ben, I guess. Is that right?
Apparently, that's what Google search said.
1995, 2009, it comes to fruition. Robot Librarians, 95, they called it. 2016, it happens. The censorship of Michelangelo's David, 1990, 2016, it happened. Three-Eyed Fish from the fucking nuclear waste place.
In Japan.
Three-Eyed Fish comes to fruition in 2001. Matt Groening did it in 1990. 9/11. 9/11. They called that happening. If you do recall planes going into buildings, they said it in 1997, 2001, it happens. The Syrian uprising, everything that's going on in the Middle East has all been talked about on The Simpsons. And then he created another show called Futurama. That is huge. He created another show like, yeah, listen, here's me rubbing it in the face that's where I could go if I have to. I have so many questions for Matt Groening, and guess what, Matt Groening? The gig's up. We know. I'm all in on you, Matt. And I'm a fan, by the way, aren't we? We're big fans.
I'm a huge fan.
If you want to travel to future me or current me or past me and say what's up, I think we would all be appreciated.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about. Yes,
speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to that show. Hour 2 here on Thursday, May 6, 2000. In 21 years after zero, we'll begin right. Shout to Twine for that beat drop. What a day it is here. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, college football national champion, Super Bowl champion, and NFL Network pundit, ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk. How you doing, dude?
Doing great. Good to be with you guys.
Oh, it is nice to have you with us here. We did see in the last hour you were on NFL Network trying to make that show an awesome one. We appreciate the competition. It makes us better. Iron sharpens iron. Thank you, AJ, for joining us. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Good news for you is you did not see that because it is not aired yet, but thank you for the compliment.
We saw it.
AJ had to record something at 12:15, so my immediate response, which became, quickly everybody else's as well as soon as we really thought about it, is AJ was trying to be competition to the show.
What the hell is that?
AJ's going on the NFL Network at 12:15. What was it? What did you guys talk about? Did you talk about Aaron? And was it about the Schefter drop this morning on Dan Patrick, or was it about something completely different?
Well, it was. It's actually airing in a few minutes, I think.
Jesus!
Oh,
this is what are you doing? A media blitz? Look, he's on this.
Yeah.
He's on NFL Network. What? You got ESPN? He did.
He did.
Good
God.
Oh my God! Is it just going to be all AJ all the time? Is this Hawk time? I love this. Good. Hey, influence.
Let's go, AJ.
Miller Lite. This is what Miller Lite paid for.
Is the Instagram thing he was talking about?
You look at other shows as like competition, which they're not. You know that's not the case. I look at it as if I go on a show, I promote this show and you and the Bugle Boys and everybody in the back.
Son of a bitch.
I love Bugle Boys. I don't view other shows as competition, by the way, but it is the old classic. It's why ESPN couldn't. It's me mocking, the industry that we are currently in right now, but. Can you not go on shows before noon and after 3? I mean, they have a point. They have a point. So the Schefter news this morning, AJ, and we said we weren't going to talk about this anymore unless, except for when you came on to join us to see if the insider to the insiders had any more inside information to make outside. AJ? I assume the Schefter news breaking this morning was pretty good for the Aaron Rodgers camp, who probably felt a bit blindsided by this entire thing. Have you heard any updated news and your thoughts on Dan Patrick, Adam Schefter's conversation this morning?
Sorry to tell you, I have no updated news.
Come on!
God! Too busy doing fucking hits.
Interviews,
so.
yeah.
Mickey Mouse.
That's all. But I feel like the Schefter news is a big deal, and right now Schefter's getting killed on the internet, isn't he? Why are people mad at Schefter?
Well, they're mad at Schefter because if I synced properly, they think that he dropped a massive news story on draft day with zero hard facts, is what they're saying. They're saying it was zero hard facts because he said it wasn't a news break, right? He said to Dan Patrick, it wasn't something that happened in the morning. It was an accumulation. Jesus. Accumulation, which is why I don't get any respect in any of these conversations. That makes sense. Sorry, Michael. I didn't mean that. I see your side now.
Just kidding. Fuck you.
Yeah, well, Connor, yeah, fuck you for real. But like, I can see why you did what you did and labeled me the way you did. But like the thought of Schefter saying that the information has come over time, and once other people were potentially going to report it, he felt obligated to report it. It just so happened to be there. I think a lot of people, and maybe that's normal in the insider world. Maybe that is how it always operates. But I think a lot of people, me included, by the way, learn some stuff about the insider game and how stories potentially break and lead to an entire news cycle that everybody's talking about. I think that's the biggest thing, and that's why I think a lot of people are potentially the most pissed. Like, you can't be doing that. Hey, you can't be doing that. That's basically what a lot of people are saying.
Well, aren't people saying just the timing of it, right? Like, why was it draft day? I know Schefter even said, like, it just happened to be draft day. If he would have done this, say, the Monday after the draft, would people still be upset?
Well, if now, business-wise, draft day, massive day for ESPN. You know, massive. So if you have a bomb like that, you drop it the day of your biggest day, which I assume it is. I assume it's one of their biggest days.
Yeah.
National championship probably is biggest day. There's probably maybe some Monday night. No, I don't.
I think that's
right at the top. Like a playoff game, but yeah, I mean, it probably is.
I would assume the draft is their biggest day.
Yeah.
I would assume it because they're big college football too, right? So it's like the draft is the culmination of everything, the biggest league, their biggest thing, everything like that. Now, granted, I'm not saying NFL Network does. So him thinking, you know, our biggest day, my biggest news before anybody else goes, maybe that's the business side of it, but for somebody that isn't in the business, it's like, yeah, that might be the business, but it's kind of fucked up, isn't it? And if you do think business-wise, if he does drop that on Monday, I mean, that at least gives people shit to talk about. Because draft, I think they kind of buried a lot of conversations with the Aaron Rodgers stuff. So I don't know if any of it really makes any sense to me. You know, I don't know what the right way to do it is.
It doesn't. I would like to, is there any way to know how many stories break like this that are like accumulation? All of a sudden, hey, today's the day I'm going to drop all of this stuff that I've been following, I've been hearing for the last 3 months.
You chose to break the Rodgers news on draft day. That is absolutely correct. Oh. It was nothing that morning that came in that all of a sudden said to me, yeah, he wants out, you should report this. It was just an accumulation of information via Dan Patrick show. And your point, I mentioned this in the first hour. You told me on a FaceTime a very interesting little, thought shop thing. Schefter did that on Dan Patrick's show. That's fascinating. That is isn't it? I mean, that is something to think about too, because it was that thought about as well, potentially.
It doesn't seem like it in the moment when I watched the clip, and Schefter even says, I said this on NFL Live, I said this on my podcast, and like, you must not have explained it as well as you did here with Dan.
Well, and maybe that is why he went on Dan Patrick, or maybe that's why they sent him on Dan Patrick to do it. Is like, hey, we need a new audience to hear this, not just our ESPN audience.
No, they would not send him on Dan Patrick to do that. They'd build one of their platforms.
Now, I want to let you know, they did say that they were reviewing their company policy on other platforms whenever we had the whole thing happen. With them, they had to come out and say that the head of the company had to speak about another sports media influencer. You know what I mean? And what was going on with that show. So,
They
would have done
it on ZJK for sure.
You think so?
Yeah.
Show still on, in the morning? I'm never up that early.
Zubin, J. Will, and Keyshawn?
Yeah.
I assume so.
By the way, I like J. Will, like Keyshawn. I believe I'd like Zubin too.
Zubin's the man, but I believe he did have to step away, and I don't know if he's coming back to that show.
So is it just JK?
Well, that's on me.
As of right now, I believe so.
Probably a good show. I like J. Will and Keyshawn a lot.
Zubin has diabetes. That's why he had to step away.
Okay, hope he's okay.
No, that's what I mean. He had to step away. I wasn't saying anything else. I don't know what you're inferring right now or what this guy's inferring. I love Zubin.
Yeah,
I hope he gets better. I need him on my dial in the morning.
Cuppy did the responsible thing of stepping in before.
I didn't want anybody.
No, I knew.
Yeah, because AJ would have came in with something. You would have.
You don't dunk on Zubin.
No way.
No.
That's, by the way, that's what I think you're potentially.
No.
Yeah.
I have gassed up Zubin Mehenti for at least.
You're the one that told me I'd be a fan of him.
Exactly. At least like 2 years now. I ain't taking any shots at Zubin.
Feels like it.
All right. That's all I'm saying about Zubin. He's the fucking man.
Just be sure.
By the way,
sure.
we could all react right now to make it appear as if you were taking a shot at him right there.
Yeah, you
if
could.
we really wanted to.
But you know.
We could have left you stranded out there.
But you know that I fucking love Zubin Mehenti.
You do love Zubin Mehenti.
Yes.
And you're the one who's told me, I think, numerous times, like, hey, we need Zubin on the show, actually, I think you have said.
Have said it
and
many
it was kind of
times.
the ESPN, band thing during the time you were saying that. But I do appreciate the fact that Gumpy was like, boys, watch the show for a long time, now a part of the show. We need this is not good. This is like like when somebody's all dressed up, you say, why are you dressed up? They're like, oh, it's a funeral. Fuck you. It's like, oh, sorry.
Oh,
okay.
shit.
Like one of the
right.
We do appreciate that, Gumpy. That was very good idea by you.
I love the show too. Watch it every morning.
Zubin?
Yep.
It looks like Alan Hahn is sitting in.
I mean, how is that the way that name is pronounced? All right, let's get to some other stuff. There's no way that's that guy's name.
And what is his real last name?
Hahn. Hahn.
H-A-H-N.
Alan Hahn.
Sound Han.
Han?
Yeah.
Han?
Yeah.
Hahn.
Han Solo.
So you're saying Don Han? Don Alan Han? Is that his
Good
name?
basketball player.
Yeah, great basketball player. Hey, last night, did you see hockey was awesome?
Oh, man, I didn't see it live. I waited, and then I saw you post something on Twitter. I was like, oh, I got to get back, and I went back and came and watched it. Yeah,
So Nick in That's Hockey Talk actually put out a tweet for what time the game was and where you can watch the game because the NHL is hard to find. So I was pumped because when I saw the tweet, I was like, at That's Hockey Talk. Whenever I saw the tweet, I was like, okay, thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
I did forget that tonight's hockey is a hockey spectacular. Tonight is a trip back in time in hockey. Tonight, there is going to be brawls, and both teams know it's going to happen. It lived up to the hype, AJ. It lived up to the hype. And let me tell you what, the Capitals, who had their best fighter out of the fights somehow because nobody would allow him to fight them and grasp him, and Chara, pretty good clean sweep by the Capitals last night. They beat the fuck out of the Rangers. And it's kind of a shame because they're the reason the Rangers had to do this for their team. They literally had to do this for their teammate. And I assume there was at some moment some sort of hope that they would win their fights. But the Capitals, I think they potentially do practice fighting more than the other teams. It seemed very apparent last night, but mucho respect to the Rangers and to the Capitals for what they did last night and kick Tom Wilson out of the league.
No.
I thought it was great to see. Like I saw across my Twitter feed, like a lot of hockey players and ex-hockey players, retired guys coming out like, "Oh, this is good to see that boys taking care of business out here." But does the NHL like this? I mean, it should because it gives them the best ratings they could ever have, I would imagine.
I would assume Bettman is going to come out and say that he's against it or whatever, and maybe he won't say anything at all. But the ratings will get leaked. Yeah. You know, the rating, and they'll even leak the minute-by-minute ratings, which also are something that I learned about here in the past year or so. They'll show those. I would assume after the sixth one, after Pierre Maguire and play-by-play.
I think it was Kenny Albert last. I could be wrong, but I think.
KA, okay. Kenny Albert on there. Once they basically said, well, we think it's about over. We think this is about all she wrote for this thing. And then there was, I think a lot of people probably changed the channel. There was an incredible story. TJ Oshie scores a hat trick first game after his dad passed away. I mean, that was the rest of the night. Rangers got beat up, lost. TJ Oshie had a memorial game for his dad who passed away, and the Washington Capitals got to punch faces. I mean, it seems like a massive win for Washington, and the only thing that the Rangers have to show for it is a $250,000 fine because of what they said about the $5,000. That's a tough night to be a Rangers fan.
Rangers got respect, though. They got a lot of stick taps, on the internet.
And if Bettman didn't want this to happen, he would have suspended Wilson for a game, and this wouldn't have happened.
I agree completely.
Bettman let it happen.
Bettman, you think wanted this to happen?
Yeah.
Like, hey, this is what hockey, we still got it if we have to.
Prime time game.
We still got a fastball if we need it. A lot of stick taps on the internet. Is that what you said, Kobe Cowboy? Is that a gift?
I saw a lot of stick tap emojis. And
a lot of stick emojis.
Tell me the last time you saw a hockey video on Twitter with 1.8 million views.
Is that real?
Yep.
Wow.
Probably last time Sid won a cup.
If I had to guess. Yeah. Or maybe a video of Sidney Crosby crushing watermelons with his thighs.
Yeah.
Or Patty Kane.
Huh?
I was saying Patty Kane when he won.
Nah, he's out.
I
McDavid
think that
potentially.
Pasternak had a
player.
video that went huge, like 5 million views.
Nah, Pasternak.
Yeah, listen, Gumpy, we don't need the ricochet shot in there, all right? We get it.
What?
When's the last time you saw a hockey video? 1.8
Guys
million
on
views.
that's hockey.
It was
He's a
good
Canadian.
night. It was a good night for hockey, dude. What
He's
are we
a
talking
Canadian.
about?
Yes.
Come on,
You
dude.
know how much of a Canadian he is,
Yeah.
though.
Oh, least Canadian is what Nick just said.
What's
with the
up, Bolt?
way he
Checking
said
your
that word.
nationality.
This is kind of like a citizenhood check he just did right there.
Hey, whoever wants to take me, I'll stay.
He knows nothing about Canada, though.
Hates it.
West Coast bias, dude.
It's just different.
Yeah, but I don't even think it's West Coast. I think it's just like the potential area you live.
So I literally went to the shipyard every night for 12 hours home and watched sports during the day, and yeah. I didn't pay much attention to anything else.
We had him over in Toronto. We asked him a question about Toronto. No clue.
I don't know. This place fucking stinks.
We asked him about Canada as a whole. No clue.
What are you asking me for, pal?
Ask him about hockey. You a big hockey fan? I know it, obviously.
Yeah.
Not really. He kind of it's like, all right, we got the least Canadian. Wouldn't want it any other way.
There you go.
I loved it though, AJ. I did. A lot of hockey purists hate it though. They get so
Well,
mad.
but Tom Wilson, like, he's an interesting character. That dude, when he jumps in, gets in the fight, he was throwing heavy fists, man.
Heavy, dude. He's unbelievable.
yeah.
His fight record, as of this graphic that we're looking at, that we will dive into deeper on the screen here, is 53, 27, and 3. So just quick math there. This dude has had 83 fights already in his. Think about how many fights. And they tried to slow down the fighting, by the way, a few years ago with rules changes to make it more fast and everything like that. Tom Wilson, great at hockey, too, by the way. Not just like bad hockey, but like great at hockey, handsome, 53, 27, and 3. Has a couple draws, I guess. Started his career 6-0 as soon as he got into the NHL. Kind of staked his claim as a big dog on the ice.
Yep.
Zito, you made this graphic, I believe. How did we get the record? Who was the scorecard? Who were the judges? How did this whole thing work?
So I was the judge. I was everything. I went to hockeyfights.com, and they have every video listed. And I watched every single one and saw which one he won and lost.
Is this real? You watched 83 fights of this guy?
Yeah, there's actually 20 fights I did not put on there because he was in the OHL, I believe, or no? Yeah, Ontario Hockey League. So he had 20 fights in there. I didn't watch those because
that's like amateur, you're saying?
Yeah, that was his amateur career.
That was whenever he wasn't
He actually has
professional.
103 fights under his belt.
This guy's awesome.
Yeah.
Don't you think Tom?
Oh,
Hey,
no,
Zeke, wouldn't Tom debate some of these losses? He may think he doesn't have 27 losses.
No, we actually watched. Me and Pat watched one. Was against Chara?
Yeah, he fought Chara, and that one seemed to be a draw.
Yeah, but we said he won.
About.
We said he won though.
Who said that?
We did. I thought.
No, we said it was a draw. No, I did not.
These numbers are a
no,
lie.
I did not. Don't you be putting that on me.
I thought you said he went down.
No, I thought it was a draw. I thought it was a draw because Tom,
I took the initiative to put the
Tom
win.
did catch one on him. Chara is from the Boston Bruins. Now he's a Capital. Yeah. He's 6'9". He's a guy who is a tough guy. Like he's an actual tough guy, and he's bigger than everybody. And in hockey fighting, you grab the son of a bitch right by like their collar here, and you just grab it, and then you just jab, left-handed jabs, and then overhand rights.
Banging him.
He's like when a child comes up and you hold their like forehead and they're running and they're slapping, and he just does that to people. It's just like, and he likes fighting. He beats the fuck. Last night nobody would fight him. I did not say that Tom Wilson beat him in a fight, but Tom Wilson held his ground.
Yeah, he did.
Tom Wilson held his ground.
That's what we were saying.
Hey, he throws bombs, dude. And the guy last night, Smith, I forget his first name. What's his first name? Brendan Smith. I guess, did he offer up to be the guy that fights Tom Wilson after what happened?
Sacrificial lamb.
Or was everybody? Yeah, he came at him, but I think like during the day they made this decision.
Who's doing it?
You think it was one of those?
Yeah, I'll do it.
I hope
If
so.
I know Smitty like I think I know Smitty, I think he in the locker room say, "Boys, I got this one."
He tried to get him early. Like he did come attack him. And Tom, I think, knew what was coming. He's like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm like 5 inches taller than you. 45.
Bad fucking decision,
Yeah,
buddy.
pow, bang. He just.
Hey, what's the? Do we know is there a record, Pat, for the most fights a player has had in one game?
The Pittsburgh. I don't know about player in a game. he left after that, by the way. The Capitals basically brought him in. Okay, let's do the hockey tradition here. We understand that we got to make up for what happened. He's going to beat the fuck out of you, but you guys got to do what you got to do. And then they sent him out, so he wasn't there. So I think the Penguins were involved in the most penalized game in the NHL history. I saw that tweeted out a couple times last night.
Potentially, I looked up who has the most fights in their NHL career, and it is Ty Domi with 339 fights. He fucking left,
bro.
Dude. Monster.
Hockey was awesome back whenever anybody could get it. You had one guy on your team almost, and it was like a tradition. And I watched Gladiator the other night. It was on. I have not got caught by Gladiator in a long time. It's pretty delightful.
Hell of a movie. It's incredible. Awesome. Every time.
It's a flashbang.
It is pretty. It is, well, what?
It catches you by surprise every time.
Okay, all right, I get you. Yeah, flashbang.
Flashbangs.
Right, got it. Actually,
it works.
Flashbang, yeah, it does get you every single time. I got caught by the flashbang this particular time. But whenever they're just leading them out, right, and then the opponents, that's kind of what hockey used to be. Like if a star player got a hit that everybody thought was kind of bullshit, the person that did the hit would like remain on the ice, and then all of a sudden somebody would sub, and all of a sudden the big dumb animal was coming in off of the bench. And it's like the whole place would stand. It was like a gladiator atmosphere. Gloves are automatically tossed down. And people just circle. The rest of the players just circle. These two guys hammer it out. Stick taps. They go into the penalty box, whether they're flipping people off or whatever, and then it's out. That was awesome. And last night, it felt like there was a little bit of that.
The only thing we were missing from last night was goalie fight.
Yep.
If they would have met at center ice and started chucking them.
Golly!
Eddie the Eagle, man. Belfour could throw hands in his day.
Who got Marc-Andre Fleury got into one, didn't he?
He's been in a tussle too. I don't know if he's been in a straight up fight,
He's
but he's
more of
definitely
a,
been in a.
He'll jack somebody right in the back.
Oh, really?
He'll cross
We
you.
needed Doug Glatt last night. Is really who we needed.
Did you ever play hockey, AJ?
Tim Thomas.
No, I played like roller hockey as a kid, but no, nothing. Never real hockey.
Roller hockey? You have roller blades?
I did back in the day, yeah.
How were you on those things? Over in Ohio, pretty flat, huh?
I got to be pretty good, I think, yeah.
Inline?
Mighty Ducks had a big influence on me. The knuckle puck, all of that.
Nice. How about when they were going around the Mall of America?
Oh, yeah.
That was sweet.
You remember that?
Oh, yeah. Down the escalator?
Me too.
I don't think anybody that wasn't alive in that time would ever fully understand how over rollerblades were. They were a big deal. They were a big... In Pittsburgh, we were using them, and that's fucking this or this at all times. We're diagonal going up these monster hills.
And for some reason, you got gravel over the road for no reason, and that'll come out of
That'll
nowhere
get you in
for
rollerblades. But like 4 or 5 hours a day sometimes in those rollerblades.
Oh, yeah.
Going to work.
Oh, yeah. Come on. Couldn't even step foot in them now, though. My entire leg would cramp.
Uh-huh.
It's impossible.
Hey, didn't Diggs rollerblade to work a few times?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Boy, one time.
One time.
Yeah, one time.
Might have been twice.
He has the
you
most
might have had to get home.
uncomfortable pair of skates ever.
Yeah, they
Those
weren't broken
things.
in. They were not broken
shit.
in.
They're all the skates, though. I think at this point, all of them are uncomfortable. I think we were just used to the discomfort.
I
Whenever
could
we
have
were young.
took them to the skate shop where they mold them for you, but
Take it to the skate shop, make the fucking mold.
I'd
truck.
already spent way too much money on those things.
Let's go to some phone calls here. You did spend a lot of money on
Those
that.
things are nice. They look cool.
You still
I think
got
they're
them.
here.
You could potentially sell them on that Whatnot app.
Oh.
Oh, it's where
right.
I'm skydiving. Some guy
yeah.
comes out and buys them off me.
Huh?
Kinda.
I think that was a commercial
For Whatnot?
Oh, really?
maybe.
Oh, was it the guy?
He's skydiving. He puts his stuff on Whatnot, and then some other guy shows up skydiving. And is like, "Did you just post this? I'll buy it."
And he tackles him.
It might be
No,
a
he just
different
buys it
company.
off.
Oh,
It might have been a different company.
Sweet commercial.
it's a good commercial. Was that one take? I wonder. That's crazy.
Sounds like it.
That's a good company.
Different
They crushed it.
They aren't just a online influencing.
How the hell does Wi-Fi work up there?
Did you hear? I got all worked up first hour. I don't know if you heard it.
I saw some. So I saw you tweet last night something, and I went back and read it. And I'm like, okay, what is Pat mad about? I was trying to figure out, like, was there a big glaring thing that you were pissed at?
I don't like that he called me sports media influencer,
right.
and he calls everybody else a company. It's like,
I came back to that. I figured that out, and then I watched a little bit of you. Was it earlier in the show?
yeah. I did not expect to get that.
It's good.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It's good, man. You got to let it out. You got to let it out sometimes.
Yeah, Michael McCarthy maybe didn't deserve that, but fuck him. You know?
Yep.
He probably didn't even know, by the way, that I would get.
No idea.
And that's the problem. You know, and that I think leads to the bigger problem. Let's get some phone calls.
Is this going to be an issue for Dallas Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy? Are you just going to associate now?
Well, by the way, when I first seen it, I thought Big Mike was the.
Whoa!
I was like, oh my God, Big Mike, dude, head coach, fucking asshole. What's he? Why? He knows. He has to know how hard this is. The team. He has to respect the team around at least. You know what I mean? AJ, you're a part of that, even though you're trying to crash our show every single day with your internet and trying to go on other shows. But that really, I didn't like the disrespect to everybody. You know, it felt like it was a disrespectful shot across the.
Well, I think if people just see it from the outside, whoever this guy is that wrote it, don't you think just because of the laid back environment that you create, like how the boys are, you're young, you obviously connect with a lot of young people and old people, but sometimes they don't take it serious. Don't you think they don't take people serious when they think
always the Banana Boys' fault.
It's your guys' fault. You're right, AJ. I didn't think about that. It is probably your guys' fault.
No. I'm saying
you said it, not me.
I never said it was their fault. I never said it was their fault. I'm saying people, they get there's a weird perception to where they think you might not be working as hard as other people because it doesn't look the same. You're not wearing a tie. You're not wearing a suit every day.
You're not wearing a hard hat.
All right. This moment forward.
AJ.
Suit and ties only.
Suits from tie for going forward.
No, I'm saying they are wrong. I'm saying they are wrong for thinking that because they're dumb. They don't look into what's going on, actually.
I can't tie.
If you're trying to get on the ticker, AJ, this isn't the right way to do it.
Oh, do we have a ticker today?
Yep.
What is today's ticker, by the way? Can we get an update on today's ticker?
Nice. It has, like we said, it has now come out that Aaron Rodgers did not leak the information before the draft.
Good ticker. Nice. That's a good ticker.
And it also says hockey was awesome last night.
Oh,
hell yeah.
It was.
It was.
That's a good ticker.
It was. Woo!
Yeah.
Just waiting for some info from AJ to put on there.
Anything else you want on the ticker over there, AJ?
No, I think I'm okay right now.
Oh, not even your hit on NFL Network? That's airing later?
Yeah. What time are you on? We'll put it in the ticker for you.
Yeah.
I do not know, but you are going to be upset to hear I'm going on, I think, Tiki and Tierney at 3:40.
You son of a bitch.
We're going to go to 3. We can't, actually. God damn it.
You got to go, right? Why aren't you in Tampa?
Yeah, we got to go. I wanted to run this thing to 3:39. You know what I mean? Just somehow at 3:30, I'll start some riveting conversation, just run that thing, and you do gotta go. Like, you know what I mean? People have to do that. That would have been awesome. Tiki and Tierney, that's a good show, right? That's over there in New York?
Yeah, I assume that's where they record it still, even though they're not together, I don't think.
There's no way Axel lets you run that long up in that attic, dude.
Yeah, what's Axel going to do? He going to be a part of the show, too?
Beat the shit.
He might be. He may be just not video, but audio, banging on the door.
What are you going to tell them? What are you going to tell them?
Yeah.
Are you going to, is this like a Schefter situation where it's, accruing information and then deciding where to drop
Right.
Because it feels like with the shots you did take at the Bugle Boys.
Yeah.
And are you saving?
Shots.
Yeah, shots.
Yeah.
That's how it felt.
You did. It's okay, AJ. You did.
Do you think,
Rude boy.
are you going to break news on that show? What is it going to be about? Is it going to be about you being the all-time leading tackler in Green Bay?
Ooh. They probably want to talk Ohio State football or something like how spring ball went. That's what I assume.
How was spring ball? Was it good?
Yep. Great.
Were you there?
Was I there? No, I saw a lot of the spring game though. A lot of young talent that is really showcasing themselves.
You are the worst. That's going to be the worst interview of all time. Don't do that. You make
It's
our
not about
company
Ohio
look
State,
bad.
you
You
idiot.
make our company look bad.
Yeah, come on.
Come on. Can't have our company look bad like that.
It's obviously not going to be about Ohio State, bud.
All right, I know. I'm just, if you break news on there, actually, please do so we can react to it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Please do that.
Aaron told me on Friday that he's coming back.
Hey, John
Left-handed.
Coon.
I'm going to give him the left-handed news.
Oh, that you heard he's been training lefty. How about the John Coon stuff? Did you hear that? Did you see that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You're in agreement with him?
Yeah, he was saying what he doesn't. He thinks there's a possibility they can find a way.
Yeah.
Absolutely, there's a chance. And Ty, listen to the whole thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, he just basically said that. In the tweet itself, it said that like Rodgers wanted to get to 40 in Green Bay, and then Kuhn said on the radio show that he thought he has talked to him this week, and obviously this has been stuff that he's seen throughout his career happen to other people and teammates, but he does see that there could be a resolution where both sides could be happy, and he'd play in Green Bay next year.
Mike Florio is reporting about Schefter reporting. Do you agree with what he said there, by the way?
John Kuhn?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, that's two absolutely.
So ticker. AJ Hawk agrees with John Kuhn. Kuhn.
Yeah.
Kuhn. That there's absolutely a chance that Aaron Rodgers is back with Green Bay.
Wow.
That's what you're saying?
That's not exactly how I meant it when I responded, but sure, run with it.
Well, you can't do this.
Yeah. Dude, you stink today.
Yes. If you're asking me,
He didn't deserve that. He didn't deserve that.
So I'm all fired up from FOS.
It was great. Hey, please keep it coming, Connor. I'm good. I'm a big boy. But when I first heard it, like if you asked me right now, if you said, "Hey, do you think there's a chance Aaron Rodgers could be back in Green Bay?" I would say yes, absolutely. There's a chance.
What percentage?
I don't deal in hypothetical percentages.
Hell yeah.
But if you had
you would deal in hypotheticals
in this scenario.
I don't like to that either.
So percentages is where you draw the line. What hypothetical percentages is where we cut it off right there?
What's your
percentages
truth?
is one I do not deal with.
What's your truth, AJ?
Let's go to
just speaking my truth, guys.
That is one of my favorite AJ Hawks, by the way.
The best.
Just well, that's their truth. That's his truth. That's your truth. Well, that's my truth. It's amazing. Let's
AJ
go.
Hawk, Demi Moore.
Let's go to Michael. Is that who that's
Demi
from?
Lovato, by the way.
Demi Moore. This is a striptease, Tony Christ.
Great film.
Who's Demi
Other
Moore?
Demi.
She
was
married
married to
Bruce
Ashton
Willis.
And Ashton
then
Kutcher.
Ashton Kutcher.
Oh, Ashton. I remember Ashton did that.
Yeah.
She had a sweet haircut in Ghost.
What
and
was it?
What's his name was molding the.
Was that 70s show?
She was a Navy SEAL.
What?
Yeah, well,
Demi Moore's
G.I. Jane.
G.I. Jane.
G.I. Jane.
Okay.
Great film.
I was going to say.
God, I don't know when you guys are going character and human. You know what I mean?
You never seen striptease?
That was character.
What year?
94.
No chance.
You don't know who Demi Moore is?
If you saw it,
Yeah, I watched it when I was 8.
No, I think whenever the Ashton,
Maybe 99. I might have understood
I
the
think
years.
you're right.
The
It's
lady,
93 or 94.
the lady that Ashton started dating out of nowhere. I remember that because that 70s show I think was huge or whatever, and that whole thing. I remember that.
He married her.
They got married?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so they get married, and then now he's back with that 70s show.
Right,
Mila
Mila Kunis, yeah.
Hey, Ashton, AP Lusk, dude, pretty, there's a good businessman, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Bears fan.
He's big philanthropy now, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think every big business does
Very
become
dumb.
big philanthropy because they feel the need to give back because they have so much, but also because it helps, other stuff too.
I think it was a Hawkeye, too.
He stopped his acting.
He
I
is.
don't know if it's his choice or not, but he did.
Well, he started tweeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, he became the Twitter guy there for a while.
Well, he did The Ranch.
He had to turn it over, remember?
Oh, yeah, the Ranch.
Spread is a good Ashton Kutcher movie, too.
He had to turn his Twitter feed over to his team.
Why?
I think a Joe Pa tweet he put out, and then he backed away, and then he said, like, I will be turning this over. I'm not responsible or something weird.
Nebraska.
So how high was he whenever they approached him and said, do you think you should still be on this thing or not? And he was like, no, you're right. I got to get out of here.
He's a Hawks fan. He probably took a playful jab at Joe Pa after everything happened. What's wrong with that?
He wasn't the only one, but his team got him in a certain mindset
Go
to
Hawks.
say, hey, to get me the fuck out of here. Hey, Pittsburgh was pretty lethal with
Joe knew.
the Penn State news. Yeah,
It was split. There was Sharks and Jets situations happening in the streets of Pittsburgh.
legit. A lot of Penn State people. Obviously, I think Eastern Pennsylvania is more known for Penn State people because it's more close to over there. A lot of Pittsburgh people go to Penn State as well. That's why the Pitt-Penn State rivalry for a long time was massive or whatever. And then when that whole Joe Paterno thing came down, you're talking about Jesus Christ to some people.
Yeah.
And then you're on the other side saying, hey, he didn't come back to life or whatever. That's basically what the conversation was. It was like it felt like two religions. It felt like you were attacking a religion, which I think is what people said was the problem.
That's where idol worship will get you.
Hey,
Blood in the streets.
idol worship. That's really nice right there. He had a statue. That
He
guy.
did.
That's right.
They
Down.
yanked
Tore
that
that
sumbitch
Took
down.
that down.
Did he beat Nebraska that year?
Well, that's the thing. His wife was wondering about their kids potentially. And
He lost.
and he said, "I go watch the Nebraska film."
They lost that game, by the way.
What year? How many years straight did he play Nebraska at that point? 60.
Oh, yeah.
No, because they used to be in the Big 12.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So not 60. I did not know that.
But
by
they
the
were
way.
good back then.
35.
They might have changed it up. Never know how to watch film.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want to hear about that potentially happening. I need to watch
Not
film.
on game week. Not game week.
This can wait till spring. Well, actually, summer because we got spring ball.
We're going to the Sugar Bowl this year.
I assume that HBO documentary did come from one side. I assume the Paterno family has to answer, but boy, that is a disgusting situation, hindsight, where there was real fights and real beef in Pittsburgh when that whole thing came out, and it forced Ashton Kutcher to quit Twitter. So, damn. Wow, we don't ever talk about that. Let's get to a break. 4 minutes on the other side. 1-833-4 McAfee. We'll take some calls. JC Tretter's on in 30 minutes, NFLPA president. That should be a good conversation. Hey, I've never talked to him. Good guy?
Yeah, good guy. Very smart.
So how should we do this? With, like, if I have actual questions, I should ask?
Good cop, bad cop? Is that what you want to do?
Well, I assume you're going to be good cop because you know him.
Well, what do you, as the bad cop, what are you going to be asking?
Like, why is the NFLPA stink?
Yeah, I think that's a valid question. I think he would have an answer. And you're like, I'm not attacking you personally, but why is the PA stink as a whole?
And by the way, under your leadership, it might be good. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't been in there. But why does it stink? Nobody's ex-players don't love it. Current players don't love it. There's a portion that do, I understand. But why do you think that's the narrative? I assume he's had to answer that before.
Yeah, why did Drew Brees get $10 million and everybody else didn't?
I believe that was before his time.
All right, let's get to a break. I don't think I'm going to ask that. Maybe.
Hopefully JC or DeMora Smith are not watching the show right now because they would make a call to tell him not to come on.
Whoa, I'm not.
Hey, do it.
What if
then
you're
we'll
done?
run. No.
I didn't mean it like that.
JC's not scared. JC's not scared. These
I
are
know
things,
he's not. He's not worried about any question. I'm sure. Believe me, the dude's a very smart guy.
Yeah, he's
not worried.
I think he's a lawyer or
He studied in the School of Industrial Labor Relations.
Hey, that's
He was built for this.
He was literally built for this whole thing.
At Cornell.
Okay. Really?
Oh, yeah.
Ivy League.
Told you.
Did he get in side door, front door? Back door, football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Careful.
You got to respect the back door.
He might be in the CIA, man.
Whoa.
Yeah, he might be up in the you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm picking it up.
I'm not. What are you doing?
Don't ask questions, okay?
Explain yourself for the serious listeners. Can you explain what you were doing?
They know.
I was stretching my quads or my hamstrings. I'm sorry.
Stay
With
loose.
your face and your eyeballs.
Stay loose.
I gave a winkety wink. All right, we're back on the other side. This is the Pat McAfee Show. I have a surprise, obviously. That's what this show is all about. We have boots on the ground in Cleveland, who I assume knew this was going to happen all along. Ladies and gentlemen, live from Cleveland, Mr. Jason Glazer. Your thoughts on Kyle Pitts to Atlanta, fine sir? Oh, there's a delay.
Well, first and foremost, Pat, I'd like to say, hey, listen, thanks for having me. Cleveland is beautiful this time of year. Granted, it does smell like a mixture of poop and diarrhea and sewage.
Jesus.
It doesn't smell great down here.
Jason.
But I'll tell you what, 27 years in this thing, I fucking live for the draft. Love being down here. Love being into Cleveland. But yeah, Kyle Pitts, listen. What do you want me to say? I knew this 2 weeks ago.
Really?
I mean, do we need to do this whole fucking song and dance?
Okay.
I'll give you guys 1 through 32 if you want to know. You know, do you want to have fun?
That's nice
You
of
want
you.
to not know who's going? But yeah, I had this 2 weeks ago. You know what I'm wondering is if the guy you had in your studio, Mad Mel Kiper, I know that sorry son of a bitch didn't have this 2 weeks ago.
The mic's not plugged in.
Yes, I did. I actually just
No, you
explained
didn't.
it.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
Yes,
No,
I
you
did.
didn't. No, you
Yes, I
didn't.
did.
No,
I
you
had
didn't.
this.
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
no, you
I
didn't.
did. You
I
didn't.
had this.
I
I
did.
had
You
it.
didn't.
Trust me. Can
You
I
didn't.
talk for Christ's sake?
Okay, fine, yeah.
Can
Go
I
ahead.
talk? Okay,
Go ahead.
yeah. Like I said, Kyle Pitts,
No, you didn't.
unbelievable
No,
talent.
you didn't. You didn't fucking
Yes,
have
I
it. No, you
did.
didn't.
You
You're a
said
sad
it.
sack of shit,
Jason.
Kiper. I know it. I looked at your mock draft.
Jason, please relax. Oh my God. I had no idea it was going to get like that. Sorry about that, Mad Mel. Obviously, there's a little bit of content there. He's saying you don't know your ass for a fucking hole in the ground, though, Mad Mel. How do you feel about that from Jason Glazer live in Cleveland?
Well, classic move. You know, Glazer looks like he's getting ready to go to a goddamn titty bar or something like that. I mean, dress up, pal. It's the NFL draft. Look at me. I'm dressed to the nines. You know, you look like an asshole. I mean, get him out of here, can we? I mean, is he going to stick around? Can we get him the hell out of here?
I think is his microphone still on? Jay, can you hear us? Jay, is everything good back there?
Listen, fuck you guys. I'm out of here. I'm going over to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'm going to hang out with Dee Snider and Twisted Sister.
Are you serious? Okay, Jason, sorry. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, Jason Glazer.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Here we go.
knockdown at 6'10".
6, 7, 8.
He might be dead.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Come on. Come on. Say it loud, ref.
Ladies and gentlemen, with the match ending in the first round, your winner by technical knockout,
Thank you.
the red corner.
Woo! Fuck you, buddy. You too. We did it. We did it. Yeah. Listen, am I the greatest Oculus boxer of all time? Possibly. But getting punched in the actual face is much different than the fake shit. So I'll continue to go in here, battle against these jabrones, and keep it moving. I am tired though, even though it was quick. Back to the show. A lot of content coming out of the draft and the draft cycle and everything like that. We were just chatting about the video showcasing Micah Parsons basically telling people for years now that it'd be great to be a Dallas Cowboy. It'd be great to be a Dallas Cowboy. It'd be great to be a Dallas Cowboy. The Dallas Cowboys were going to go defense. Everybody thought they were going to go corner. The two corners they thought they were going to go with were off the board before their pick. Micah Parsons gets the call. It's a big story. And Jerry actually asked him, it's not too big to be a Cowboy, is it? And he's like, no, I can't wait for it. That's a beautiful thing. And then I'm just learning now that A.J. Brown, the absolute stud from Tennessee, Ole Miss, I believe, receiver, alongside DK Metcalf, he said the Patriots could have done this because he was a diehard Patriots fan. Instead, he's playing for Vrabel, a legendary Patriot down there in Tennessee.
Yeah, actually commented on the Instagram saying like, oh, I wish New England would have done this for me. But hey, we ended up with N'Keal Harry. We'll be fine. He's got a ton of potential.
Hold on, he said, wish New England would have done this for me?
Oh, yeah. He wanted to be a Patriot. He actually went on the Bussin' with the Boys podcast and actually talked about it. Like, while the clock was running down to 0, he was like, son of a bitch, they're not going to take me.
Yeah, but now you're not on that team.
Yeah, well, now he's so happy to be a Titan. Don't get me wrong. But, hey, in 3 years when that contract is up, come on
It's
over,
like a Zion
buddy.
thing. I love playing in New Orleans.
Exactly.
New Orleans is my favorite place. But aside from New Orleans, man, New York is awesome. Yeah. That was beautiful. AJ, any updates on anything happening in the world that you should maybe talk about?
No, I don't think I have anything that hit over the 4-minute break that you would want to know.
What do you do during the 4-minute break, by the way? Do you just sit up there and what do you do?
Vacuum. Usually run down, maybe take a leak quick, come right back up.
That's what I do. I do a quick sprint somewhere, and I always wonder what you do. Just sit there all by yourself because you don't have somebody telling you exactly how long it's going to be and everything like that. There is some tweets that are calling for concern potentially for this show and our relationship. Somebody sent a tweet to the group. Zito, if you could pull it up now and go into it. You're all over NFL Network right now.
All over it. Everywhere.
So now
It's good for the Pat McAfee show.
AJ Hawk is on NFL Network right now and not Pat McAfee show.
Whoa. What's that about?
Well, that person didn't tune into the Pat McAfee show to see me sitting right here.
Well, that's valid. Obviously, that'd make a lot of sense. But look what's going on. People are thinking you're leaving the show now.
Yeah.
This is what happens.
Jeez.
We appreciate you doing your thing and just dominating all the media at the same exact time. But Kelly Shaver here, KB Shave, people call him around. His friends call him.
Yeah. KB.
He's out here thinking this whole thing's crashing down.
Thanks a lot, AJ.
Thanks, man.
You happy?
I hate to tell old Kelly Shaver that got the eyeball emojis. Take a look over here, and you'll see me doing a live show here and a recorded thing over there.
Yeah, pre-recorded. You did your best work, too, which, by the way, we are so thankful you went over there.
Don't act like you've seen anything ever that anyone's done.
We did
I
see
did.
it.
I just saw it during the break. I actually looked it up. You
Seemed
did.
like Siciliano was really digging for some answers.
He was. It wasn't an easy interview for you, was it, pal? Nope.
Yeah, if only Siciliano was on there, that would have been great.
No, that's what that was Todd.
I could have sworn I
Todd.
saw Siciliano
Siciliano.
You didn't see that.
Ty, you were watching.
You're an embarrassment, dude.
No, it was Siciliano.
Yeah, what's that?
It was Garofalo. It wasn't Siciliano.
I saw James Jones was on
James
there.
Jones and
Yeah,
some
James
other
Jones.
guy.
It was ex-Packers.
Yeah.
Come on. It was a gathering.
The host. It's a shame that the host actually is a big fan of you. And when I popped up on the screen, he's like, "Oh, there's a familiar sight from the Pat McAfee show."
I love that guy.
Who, Baldy?
No, it wasn't Baldy.
Who
the hell's the host, AJ?
Go check it out. His name's Omar, I believe.
Oh, shut up.
Oh,
Shut up.
Thank you, Omar.
Thank you, Omar. Great to see you watching, man. We appreciate you. Obviously, great interview with AJ and James and everybody else. It was great. I watched it. It was so good. With the way you were kind of laying out your point and painting the picture for folks at home. Assume that call is going to happen a lot for you now.
Yeah.
Okay. Let alone Tiki and Tierney tonight. When I listen to that, I'm going to be like, that's the AJ we've come to know and the world is getting introduced to. You're the best, dude.
You know what I've realized is it has become kind of difficult for me to speak to other media outlets, other members, because I don't know. I have a hard time taking myself serious when I'm on there.
Yeah, me too, by the way. I get asked to do something like Rich Eisen's show, right? I got asked to do Rich Eisen's podcast, and I love Rich. So, like, Rich asked me to do it. I'm like, you got it. Let's go. Now, when we got in there, it was very hard for me to, all right, I'm getting interviewed again. Okay, here we go. So I'm supposed to do this. And there was a couple of things he asked for. I'm like, yeah, but it's all bullshit. Like, I almost like, I could see how you potentially get that way because it has happened to me very recently as well. Now, granted, SmackDown has been a great outlet, I think, for like, I don't want to say like serious, but like more like, okay, focused in conversation, like how we're doing. But man, when you're talking sports, with what we do every single day, it's hard to dial it in when it's like, oh, this is a bunch of fucking bullshit. It's just what you want to say. You know what I mean, AJ?
Absolutely. And it's hard not to I feel like I'm repeating whatever I say on here if I go do anything else.
Oh, so you're not breaking any news tonight, is that what you're saying?
Okay.
No news to break, bud.
Well.
Okay, so AJ Hawk says there is no news to break. So that means nothing has happened.
Is no news good news?
Or is no news?
Oh, yeah.
Is silence violence?
Bang. And is patience a virtue in this particular case? Or is tomorrow never coming? So live for today.
Don't ask Shanahan.
Let's go to Michael in Detroit. What's going on? Michael, MCDC, off to a hot start. Offensive line is all the way back. Ragnow signs an extension. The guy played with a broken neck. MCDC era up there seems to be going off without a hitch. How you doing up there, Michael?
Oh, I'm doing good. And you?
Hey, not too shabby. Where are you at right now, Michael? Just hanging out?
In work, in a meeting, low-key.
Oh, you're in a meeting, low-key. What are we talking about? What's in the meeting? Is I in Detroit at work, I'm thinking of B Rabbit walking in there. Just like sitting in the back.
B what?
B Yeah, you fuck my girl. Yeah, I do.
It's funny hearing people from Detroit sing that, not from Detroit sing that song.
Do you hate me saying that? Like, I watched White Boy Rick the other day. I did not know that he got set up for the, not the movie, the documentary. There were some hard times up there in Detroit for a while. Nobody got it harder, though, than White Boy Rick. That guy, hey, White Boy Rick got absolutely slaughtered by the city of Detroit. I mean, it just, now he had a good time there.
He did.
He had a good time there for 15, 16, 17 years or whatever it was. But, boy, anyways, Michael, what do you want to talk about, huh?
I want to talk about the Packers. As a Lions fan, I want them to be good for like the next 4 years. I think that gives us time to get a good rebuild in. So the way to keep Rodgers in Green Bay, to trade 4 first-round picks for Julio Jones and any wide receiver not named Devontae Adams.
Okay, that's what Michael says. That's what Michael in Detroit says. He had me there early. You know, it's probably going to take us about 4 years to kind of turn this thing around. So if we can keep Aaron around so everybody understands why we stink for 3 years, to get a little bit of patience so then we can really hit the ground running whenever he leaves. I like that mindset. I don't know what he was saying about with Julio and everything like that, but I like where his head's at. As a Detroit Lions fan, is there actual belief that you guys are going to like have real success? There should be, by the way.
100%.
Building through the trenches is how you win games.
You know, I personally don't want to wait 4 years. I'm going to give MCDC 1 year, and then after that, we start thinking
that's
10 and
Detroit's
7
problem.
in a playoff
Lord.
win. No, give him a year. Matt Patricia gave him an absolutely terrible roster this year. Give him a year to figure it out, and then after that, we're going 10-7, playoff win. We're back.
11-6, maybe the year after that. You think Detroit ever going to be good again, AJ?
What does Foxy think is that terrible roster because of Matt Patricia?
1,000,000%. He traded away all the good players, AJ. He comes in here, he says, Golden Tate, see ya, Darius Slay, see ya. All the good guys are gone.
Guy had the final say in the Patriots war room last week.
Yeah, to draft Mac Jones.
All two of those good guys ran him out of town.
Yeah, did he draft Ragnow? Wasn't he the one that brought in Frank?
It might have been. I don't know if he was long enough to.
I have no clue.
Oh, man. That's awesome. That is awesome. The Lions, though, could be good. Could be good.
Yeah, but they're one of those teams that you kind of hope stinks forever, right?
No.
Really?
For me,
The people of
it's
Detroit,
way more
dude.
fun.
Oh, the people of Detroit deserve some sort of success from that Lions team.
Well, Tigers will be good eventually.
Yeah, they got the Pistons, too.
The Red Wings are going to stink forever. though.
Forever, absolutely. But they got the Pistons and the Tigers.
Pistons stink, too. Blake Griffin just paid $8 million to get the fuck out.
Yeah, they got a bright future, though.
Tigers are the worst.
Yeah, Tigers have the worst record in the major.
Yeah, all three of those teams are fighting for the number 1 overall pick right now.
So, yeah, Detroit would deserve MCDC to turn that thing around up there. That'd be cool.
I'm rooting for them, absolutely.
Patriots fans are coming after us because Daniel Jeremiah and I talked about how the Patriots, we came to the conclusion that they did not expect to be able to draft Mac Jones or weren't even thinking about trading up to draft Mac Jones. But whenever Mac Jones was available, it was like, we're here. Did we expect this? And then we mentioned the war room excitement level, and Daniel Jeremiah said, I feel like they thought, like, hey, he's here. Let's go ahead and take him. And a lot of Patriots fans were like, well, that makes no sense. So if they don't trade up to get somebody who's not their guy, it's like, no. But I think the conversation immediately following that draft pick was like, oh, this was Bill's plan all along to get Mac. I don't think that was the case, but I think Bill and Patriots fans are pretty pumped that you guys got Mac Jones, I would assume.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's some sort of hope for the future, and that's why until proven otherwise, guy's the next goddamn Tom Brady.
Yeah, that was just interesting to me. If Patriots fans were upset with us thinking that Bill did not orchestrate the entire thing and expect Mac Jones to be there, it was like, I don't know. Maybe he did. Maybe he did.
I don't think he orchestrated, but that's why I think the draft is weird. You're not, like, especially if you're picking later in the first round or middle to the end of the first, you're reacting off of what is happening in front of you. You can have whatever plan you want. Someone's going to throw something in there that's going to mess up your plan. So, yeah, you got a couple picks out, see who may be there, and then let's pull the trigger. And I think that's what the Patriots did.
And, by the way, then Bill immediately follows up with saying, Cam's our starter. Mm-hmm. Okay, when Jared and Mac get to a point where they could potentially compete, then we'll have that. But Cam's our starter, blah, blah, blah. So I think, they probably got excited that Mac Jones was available. It didn't seem like it. Maybe that's just how they operate up there, is everybody got to be miserable as football. But, maybe that's why it wasn't as potentially like, I can't believe we got Mac Jones. But to Diggs' point earlier about Matt Patricia, he did have to give the final. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, you go with
I
it.
like Mac.
I like it. Call it in.
All right. Yep.
We're all real excited.
Imagine, Connor, imagine your Patriots team. If, let's say, they plug Mac in like halfway through this season, shows great promise, and then he's the full-go starter the next season. What kind of damage can they do with a quarterback on a rookie contract with everyone else around him?
And they'll have 2 premier tight ends. Yep. That's proven, right? They're going to be there.
Cap's going up.
Hightower's back.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of damage that can be done, but, I mean, do you guys think that he won't play this year, like September, October?
I have no idea. I'm not even getting into that game. I'm not even getting into that game because there might be a doctor that comes along and shoves a needle into a lung.
True, yeah.
You have no idea. Tua was what? Bye week, but nobody else knew about it. I have no idea what the plans are. When I think somebody would go in is rarely when people think that actually ends up happening. I think that's almost more difficult to predict than the goddamn draft at this point. Like, at what point with Cam Newton is he get 2 games, 3 games, 4 games if he's not playing, if he plays like he played last year post-COVID? And what if he dominates? Like, is Mac even, is he dressing? Like Jordan Love didn't even dress like. It's just like, I have no idea how any of these situations can go.
I think they could possibly, like, if they feel good about Mac, put him in for a little bit of package here, package there, and then eventually, if Mac's getting more time and throwing the ball well, then Cam's going to be like he'll be like a red zone power back for him.
Speaking of quarterbacks, and I know that we said we do not want to talk about this Packers situation. Mm-hmm. Green Bay Packers are looking for quarterbacks.
Yeah. Whoa.
They are.
Yeah. Whoa.
Because they only have 1 quarterback right now that's in the OTAs. And
who's out there? What vets are still out there on the street?
Matt Hasselbeck, Dan Orlovsky.
Brian Hoyer.
I saw.
Blaine Gabbert just signed with Tampa.
Blake Bortles.
By the way, I had heard that was going to potentially be, Blake Bortles is out there. That's the rumor. He's going to Green Bay.
That was top on the list.
Not a chance.
What?
Florida guy. He ain't fucking playing in the cold. You kidding me? Not a chance. Not a chance. He's assimilated.
They just
to
need him
climate.
for the spring. They just want him for the spring as an arm.
Still
Bring him
cold
in.
up there.
By the way, Blake's good for the locker room. Hysterical.
Oh, yeah.
I assume he's been around a lot of offenses now. He probably picks up offense pretty well. Hey, Jordan, hey, I know Aaron operates one way. Maybe I might operate differently. Here you go. Let's go ahead and do this thing. And maybe Aaron Rodgers is back, by the way.
Let's hope so.
Maybe, probably not. They should bring in Strafolsky, though.
Oh,
CFL
CFL
king.
legend.
Loves the cold.
Grey Cup Parade
Smart.
king.
Yeah.
God loves the cold.
Now we're talking.
They should get Mason Rudolph.
All right, he's just signed a deal with the Steelers. Hour 2's wrapping up. AJ, what are we talking about in hour 3 that people should stick around for?
Well, we'll talk to JC Tretter, and also if Timmy Tebow is getting looked at by Jacksonville, aren't other teams going to bring him in for workouts at tight end?
I would assume that other people would think if Tebow can get into that locker room, let's hope that he can also get into our locker room. You want Tebow in there now? I have heard that there are people that are tearing this entire thing apart. Know that I am not one of them, okay?
Nuh-uh.
If you can get Tebow in your locker room at whatever position, you do it. If he thinks he's going to be a good tight end, I believe him because he's never lied to me in the past. Hour 2 is on the other side. This is the Pat McAfee Show, Thursday, May 6th. I think I've realized this year with the conversations, you do seem to be a rather normal human, which is very interesting, right? I assume for a lot of people to hear. AJ said, no, you are not a normal human. But because all the stories about you before this year, to be honest, a lot of people, the way they believed is you were the smug king almost is what the thing about it. And then getting a chance to chat with you, it's like, well, that's not the case at all. How is that like something you have to focus on? I assume it gets hard whenever you're hanging out with, Scott Stapp is hanging Aaron Rodgers jerseys up in his goddamn office. That has to be pretty weird.
Well, look, I think that's an interesting thing to talk about. I think a lot of times, people have said things about me, and it's been the same few people, and that's been kind of the prevailing story or thing that's reflected on. I think for me, I talk a lot about the work I did on myself. It was nice, and it wasn't intentional. Like, I didn't sign the show to have, and you guys know, we've talked about this off air, but there wasn't some agenda doing this. It was fucking talk to Pat and AJ every week. Yeah, it sounds pretty awesome.
It has been, by the way.
It sounds amazing. But what it's allowed me to do is, I think, silence all the douchebags out there who were, talking for me and making themselves more relevant by using my name or running with stories that were not really based in any type of fact. And look, I've grown as a person. I've said things and done things that I wish I'd handled a little better. But this was a great, natural, authentic, whatever, whether it was 15 minutes at the stadium or 45 minutes, to just bullshit and have a conversation. If you're a friend of mine, if you know me, I think this is about as normal as interaction you're going to see from me. It's not a lot of BS. You're not going to hear cliches and garbage. I'm going to, shoot from the hip mostly. Tell you as much as I feel comfortable telling. I feel like I've been as honest as I could be. I've told you guys a lot of fun stuff. It's fun for me because then I don't have to maybe rehash it on a Wednesday, or people get to see a different side of you that maybe they didn't even know was there or didn't think was there. And it's been fun for me. I really have. I've appreciated every single week we've done these. And like I said, the best part is there was no agenda. There was no plan. I mean, even us, we didn't know we were going to go 10 minutes or 15 minutes or an hour. We just started fucking talking, right? And then this came out, and it's been a lot of fun.
Is the MCDC name tag then? Because it's a long time. ACDC. Do you hate it? Do you love it? I feel like we potentially offended you after finding out you're a diehard Metallica guy and we call you MCDC.
No. Listen, I love classic rock as well. So. I don't strike you as a numbers guy.
Yeah, whenever I heard you, I was just like, you know what? I'm not 100% sure this guy is just going to be listening strictly to the analytics guy. I just kind of a feel I had.
I got through addition and subtraction. Look, the alpha comment was really, I wasn't directing that just at myself. I was saying that's Brad too. Brad's an alpha. That's our coaching staff. I mean, Let me say this about our coaching staff. One of the reasons I made the hires that I did with these guys, I know you'll probably end up asking this, was because just coming out of this COVID, I wanted to make sure we had more flexibility with the roster. And if these coaches need to play maybe a couple of games, so not everybody's thinking that way.
All right, it seems like every 3-4 years, the Lions get a new head coach. It seems like the rebuilding process has been happening my entire life. 26 years old, and I've never seen a playoff win for the Detroit Lions. So I want to know how you and your coaching staff plans to make this one different.
Yeah, look, first of all, I think I love Foxy, man. I tell you what, I love the optimism that he brings. Look, I would say this, to me, the short answer is Sheila Ford Ham. If you want hope, she's the one who's bringing the hope. Because I had put serious thought into this as I was hiring my staff. I was thinking about hiring you to see if you would like to be, our special teams coach. And then I thought, you know what, I know you doing this radio, it softened you up a little bit. I chose not to. All right, I hate to say that, Pat. I needed to just let that be known.
Well, I want to let you know, true alphas know when to hang them up. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Carroll.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back. Hour 3 here on Thursday, May 6, 2021. JC Tretter, the president of the NFLPA and Center for the Browns, will join us momentarily. But now we have AJ Hawk on, which we do have to talk about because while he was doing his NFL Network spot, which was at the same time as our show, but he recorded it previously, so this could have potentially been information that he brought to the show that he heard from somebody else doing another meeting. James Jones says he talks to Aaron Rodgers frequently. James Jones on NFL Network just now, alongside AJ Hawk, who has been alongside us for an hour now. Did not say this at all. James Jones says, I speak with Aaron all the time. It has nothing to do with getting the GM fired. It has nothing to do with a new contract and getting money. I think it's fixable, says James Jones. Now,
here we go.
Did you just assume these things, or did you hear James say that, or was your internet not working whenever he was told? What happened?
Yes, I heard James say this, and I said, oh, great. He's just confirming the exact same thing I said on Monday on this show.
Okay, put that on the ticker. So AJ confirms that James Jones confirms what AJ said on Monday's show.
Mm-hmm.
All right, welcome back to that show. AJ, thank you for that, buddy.
Thank you, AJ.
It's always good to have a second source on something.
Hey, I'm holding my good stuff for this afternoon after the show.
I know, a Tiki and Tierney at 340.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
What's it going to be about? Is it about is it any breaking news? Is it any real news?
I mean, hey, what we're doing right now, if I did that, it would be like what Schefter did, going on Dan Patrick, a guy that used to be at ESPN and a competitor, and dropping that bombshell, and that's what gets picked up.
Okay, so we just talked about that actually. So Schefter right now, I did not expect the internet to react the way the internet has reacted to Schefter, and I think it's because the way he explained how I assume the business is normally going, but I think we all kind of got a peek behind the curtain on how the business potentially goes, right? So it's like, oh no. And we said that, his explanation in his business sense is cool, but all the fans are like, that's not how you should do business. That's what a lot of people are saying. Mm-hmm. In ESPN, by the way, this comes after the, Orlovsky and this show situation, Justin Field, and then now it's this on other play. I mean, they are probably rightfully so, by the way. But over there, they're probably like, "What the heck? Can we
done with this?
What are we doing? Why are we doing this?" And they have to. That's the world we live in. Everything Schefter says is going to matter because of who Schefter is, especially whenever you talk about NFL MVPs, how stories are made, and especially when you give a peek behind the curtain. So thanks for Schefter for doing that, so we can kind of learn a little bit more about how it all works. But I think he is getting it. And hopefully people, stop thinking that this was Aaron Rodgers that wanted this out, because when clearly he did not. Joining us now, though, is the president of the NFLPA, Center for the Browns. This dude went to Cornell.
Whoa, wow. Whoa.
Hey, big brain. Former teammate of A.J. Hawk, ladies and gentlemen, JC Tretter.
Yeah!
What's going on, dude?
How you guys doing?
Hey, I have a question. Did you watch the admissions scandal documentary?
I did not.
Okay. Well, I think Cornell was involved in that entire thing. It was a super smart school. It's where you got in and I assume dominated football and everything like that. And you studied at the School of Industrial Labor Relations, almost preparing yourself for this exact moment that you're in right now, President. Did you know that there was potentially parents setting up fake photo shoots of them playing polo and then paying a massive amount of money to get into those classes with you? Did you have any idea that was potentially happening?
No clue, but you never really know what the high school polo scene looks like.
JC, school at Cornell, easy for you, or was that something that was very difficult? Have you always just been an incredibly intelligent guy, and that's kind of how you operate?
I wanted to go to a really good school. I had uncles who were on there, my sister was there, so I had a lot of family at Cornell, and close to home. So it was good academic.
Nailed it.
But it was.
JC, we're going to call you back. It's our side, not yours. We're going to call you back right now. What's wrong, Connor? Why are you laughing? And the name tag's down there.
He nailed that.
He did.
He nailed that. We weren't able to hear him. It's a bummer.
AJ. Yeah. That is why people don't take us serious, right? Is that what you were saying?
Much, yeah.
Is that what you were saying earlier? That goes to your point earlier?
No, that's not. You guys misinterpreted what I was saying, but yeah, I think we're seeing.
No, we heard what you said.
No, you did. By the way, it wasn't you taking a shot at us. It was you saying, hey, maybe, which is what we like to do.
I was complimenting you. Honestly, I was trying to have a real moment and compliment the boys and you. I'm saying because from the outside looking in, people may not take it serious because of the way, I'm sure, if they see me, oh, this guy's an idiot, can't take him serious, smoking cigars, whatever. You're wearing, tank tops every day, and we're having fun, so people don't look at it like it's a job. They don't look at it like we prepare or do anything.
Okay, and I understand what you're saying, and we appreciate that. Obviously, we don't like compliments here, but we do appreciate that.
Thank you, AJ.
And you're a massive part of it. But when you said that, it did make me think think about it from that side, where, that whole thing. It's probably tough to fathom.
Yeah, these guys are clowns.
These guys are clowns.
Sports dudes.
They get the president of the NFLPA on, can't hear a word he's saying.
Yeah.
Can't hear a word he's saying. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now, the president of the NFLPA, Center for the Cleveland Browns, and Cornell graduate, ladies and gentlemen, JC Tretter. JC, good to see you. How you doing, man?
Thanks for having me on.
Oh, okay. If we get a little bit longer of a sentence, so we can find out if we can hear you or not, that'd be fantastic. How's your day going? You look amazing.
It's going good. Got out to the golf course this morning. Did not play well, which wasn't surprising, but was able to finish a nice round.
Okay. All right. Much better than last time. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Happy you're golfing. Okay. Good business can get done there. And you gave us a great answer about Cornell, your family going there, and you kind of trailed off at the end. But what we were talking about leading into that is you were almost prepared to be in the exact role that you're in right now as NFLPA president. Whenever you think about taking on that role, you have to know that you're going to piss people off, right? Like, is that just the understanding whenever that happens? Is there's going to be people that don't necessarily agree with you? And is it exactly how you thought it would potentially be whenever you thought you should go get this job?
Well, I think my elite, like my locker room, but like in every locker room. So you understand that there's a difference between labor's perspective and management's perspective. So it's going to be a little difficult sometimes when you're always looking out for the players and you're always looking out for their best interests. And that's not always in the best interests of the NFL or the teams. And it's something you have to with. But it was something I studied. It's something I was passionate about in college. And I've enjoyed it so far.
Hey, what's been like one of the toughest things that you've realized since you took this position, dealing with the owners, and we know how giant and how much money it is that you're going back and forth trying to negotiate with? Like, is there anything that surprised you?
I try to keep an open mind. So, I mean, the conversations are always very contentious. Even this past year where we worked together really well. I mean, we had to in order to get through the season that we had with all the protocols and all the rules. But the conversations behind the scenes aren't just us in agreement, just talking about how great everything's going. I mean, those are difficult, contentious calls where we're both still looking at topics completely differently. I mean, we were adamant early on that we needed daily testing, and the NFL was adamant that they didn't. And in the end, we kept pushing for it and eventually got it. And I think that was one of the things. If we didn't have daily testing this year, I don't think we finished the season. I don't think we get even close.
Whenever you talk about those contentious calls behind the scenes, I found this very fascinating. So when I went to the rookie symposium, I was drafted pick 222. Got an invite, shouldn't have been there though, but didn't listen either. Hindsight, I should have probably as well. So kind of an interesting situation, but I think it was one of DeMaurice Smith's first speeches as new NFLPA executive director or whatever his title is. And he gave this entire speech and he talked about the war chest leading up to the lockout and how they're, you got to prepare and we're going to battle and all this thing. And I was like, that's interesting to me because, business, you would think like, hey, we got to get a deal done. We're good for each other. But instead, from what you said, every call is each side are just battling. Do you think there's ever going to be a time, because of how much money is at stake and how both sides definitely need each other, do you think there's ever going to be a time when it's not like that, or is there just too many people involved now at this point for that to ever happen?
I just think every topic isn't as simple as it seems. There's always something under this that also is going on that makes it a little more contentious. But what we see is, our strength comes from our players sticking together. And we've seen that a bunch in this past year. We saw it last year when we had over 400 players tweet out the hashtag We Want to Play, with them demanding protections from COVID, from the NFL for themselves and their teammates and their families. And that led to almost immediate concessions by the NFL for a lot of the things we were asking for. And that's what you find. You find when the players can stick together and understand that we're fighting for each other, it gives us more power. That's what's always been last year. We both had a mutual interest of getting through the season. The owners want to make money. We want to make sure we get paid. But we have two different ideas on how that can happen and the best way to go about it. And our priority is always going to be the player safety. So that's going to be our first thought. Their thought sometimes revolves a little bit more about saving costs. So those two always don't line up on what's the most frugal and then what's the most safe. So you have a lot of arguments about that.
Can you turn your phone sideways? I think that is potentially the cause for the echo. Yeah. Hey.
Here we go.
Hey, here we go.
Yeah.
Here we
We're cooking with gas.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you already sound better.
Wow. Yeah.
But we got everything you said there. You just dropped out a couple times. But the overall point is there's two different ideas on how everything should go. And not everything is as simple as it seems. I understand that. So whenever you said that the players have to stick together, and when the players do that, it tends to work out well for everybody because the NFL then realizes, okay, we got it. Right right now with the virtual OTAs and the, not thinking that the NFL in its facilities, which by the way, I don't know the research, you've done that, I assume, aren't prepared maybe, and last year's virtual offseason was good. How the hell, and I assume this is something you had to talk about, how do you expect the rookies to do this? Because that is interesting. Like, how is that going to happen? And how do these rookies not potentially look immediately like assholes in this whole thing? And do you think the NFL is going to stand firm on this? Is this something you guys are potentially going to have it out about?
Yeah, I think to go back to kind of a quick history lesson, I try not to bore everybody.
No. Hey, this is good. We need this because we don't ever get to hear this, so we appreciate you.
So originally, the NFL wanted to make these OTAs mandatory. They wanted the entire offseason to be mandatory. And we negotiated, collectively bargained, to make sure they were voluntary. And what we've seen over the last decade is near 100% participation in the offseason, in the voluntary offseason program. And then COVID came around last year, and nobody went in, and football was fine, and players were fine. They were healthier. And now guys look around and say, well, why am I volunteering my off time to show up to the facility when it just was proven I don't have to? And we surveyed the players to see kind of what do you want in an off season, and over 70% said we want to stay virtual. And that was interesting for us because we made sure to check years of service as well compared to that, because we wanted to see whether a young guy saying no, let me go in, and it's just the older guys, and that wasn't the case. I think the most interesting statistic was guys with 2 years of service. 74%, one of the higher percentages, 74, said, no, we want virtual. We don't want to go back to the old model. And that was a group of players that had 1 year in the old model and 1 year of virtual. And they were like, no, the virtual is much better for us. We want to go with that. And it was 70% of the guys who just did virtual last year. This year, they're not saying, man, I missed too much, I want to go back. They were, I'm good with virtual. And that's our job as a union, is to fight for what our players want. And it's a voluntary program. So the league has gotten used to us all showing up and it being pseudo-mandatory. And for the first time in a long time, maybe ever, they've had their players tell them no, and I'm not going. And it's ruffled some feathers, and they're not happy about it. And this is where we're at now.
What was their reaction like when you first put that out, that you were suggesting an all virtual offseason? Were the owners, I would assume a lot of them were pretty upset. The coaches were the most upset for sure. They're the ones that want the players there.
Yeah, I mean, they feel, I guess, entitled to hold them, which they are. That was in the CBA. They're entitled to hold these off-season workouts. And then it's each individual player's choice whether to attend. And guys are getting together with their teams and having the discussions of what do we want to do as teams. And that's when you saw I think 23 teams come out with statements saying, you know what, we're not going to participate. And we've seen the amount of players be drastically lower at team facilities now than in previous years. So, I mean, we've seen, the memos they've sent out recently. You can tell they're not happy about it. They're frustrated. But again, it's the player's choice. This is our right. And guys are making their choice.
That leads right to the next point, by the way. And by the way, I like getting the information that we are a democracy. We did send out hey, we need votes. We took into percentages of who's upset, who's not upset. The younger guys, the second-year guys might have said no to it because they don't want another crew of younger guys to take their jobs. But it doesn't matter what the motives are. You're getting a chance to experience both. If you're not good at football and you don't show up in shape, you're going to get cut anyway. So there's a lot of those things that kind of contradict each other if you really want to get into that game, which people will immediately upon hearing the head of the NFLPA talk about anything. So with that being said, though, the out of the facility, away from the team injuries have always been a part of an NFL contract. Like I remember whenever I signed one, the person that I signed the contract alongside going through the contract was like, here's standard NFL stuff right here. And I think they're coming out now and saying it's paragraph 9 or something. I don't know if it's clause 9 or whatever it is. If you're not at the facility, the team doesn't have to cover you. This has just always been a cover your ass type situation. Now with the Denver Broncos situation and the fight for the virtual thing, it seems like the situation with the Achilles with Jawan James, and the virtual offseason thing with the contract clause that they've had in there, it seems like this is a real potential shit stir. I don't know if I'm right there, but this feels like this is a potential big conversation that's going to happen because you always thought the teams would cover the cost. The Steelers did it with Ben Roethlisberger when he got in a motorcycle accident. It's happened numerous times for other guys. But right now it sounds like the NFL is almost telling Denver, like, let's kind of weigh our options here. How do you see that whole thing panning out? And do you think that'll ever change with the contract lingo of as we go forward here?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what Denver does because, as you both know, the amount of time in the offseason, a substantial amount of that guys spend away from the facilities.
Oh, yeah.
So guys have always felt, we know we have to train almost year round to be ready to play. And guys have felt, well, if I'm working out to make myself better, which makes my team better, then they're going to look out for me. And it'll be interesting to see. I know the NFL is clearly pushing for them not to do that. But if that's the position they take, as a player, you'd have to sit back and say, okay, well now, for the 5 weeks that I'm off between the normal end of the mandatory minicamp and then the start of training camp, if they want to do this of if I get hurt, they're not going to have my back, even though I'm trying to get better and make the team better, then now I've been disincentivized to train. And now I'm going to come in worse shape, which only hurts the clubs because of it. So it's going to be interesting what the teams want to do because I feel like the teams want the players to work out and be in great shape to make the team better. If they want to start holding this over people's heads, guys are going to have to make a financial decision of, well, in my normal off time, I shouldn't be working out as hard so I don't risk getting hurt.
What are the owners worried about? Are they worried that there's going to be a lot of players that get hurt doing non-football activities and they just claim, like, hey, I was working out. That's why I tore my pec.
Or do they not care at all whenever they try to make it mandatory? They just did that as a negotiation piece, so whenever they inevitably give it up, it's like, oh, we changed the world. What do you think is the real motive?
I think the NFL's upset that guys aren't going in. And this is kind of a low blow move to try to pressure guys to go back, holding this over guys' heads. But guys have known this for a while. Like you said, you knew it was in there. Guys know it's in there, and it's usually what's going on during the time from January whenever you lose and before April the OTA start. But the offseason's the offseason, and guys train away from the facility all the time. And this is kind of another pressure point where the NFL is trying to push guys back to the facility. So
AJ said this, and I think you might have not heard it because you were also giving a great answer. This is a power thing, huh? At all times?
Yeah, I mean, this is clearly about control. And the NFL wants to tell you when to do something, how to do it, where to do it, and why to do it. And the players now, and AJ, you know this, OTAs for years have been ratcheted up faster and faster, where they've become full speed, full contact, non-padded practices.
Not me.
And they just beat guys down. And big guys, especially in these conversations with the teams, are like, I'm sick of going there, having some guy put his helmet in the middle of my shoulder blade for 9 weeks and then say, all right, head out for a month and come back for training camp. Thanks for showing up. Like, why am I doing that?
Well, and especially after last year with a ramp-up period where everybody basically said their bodies feel better. It's actually, it feels smarter not to have that 5-week break immediately upon going right back to pedal all the way down. I feel like a lot of, logic is in every argument. It's just whether or not you're going to be able to get that pass is always the collective bargaining thing, which is why we're thankful that you're in there because, you got to wake up every day and choose violence, basically. And I want to let you know I respect the hell out of that. Diggs, what do you have?
JC, a couple things here. Sorry, excuse me. As the president of the NFLPA and Browns Center, I just asked why you took away the Steelers' bye week last season. And then can we also get Myles Garrett tested for an alien so that we can protect other players on the field?
Smart. Are we doing potential alien tests across the NFL yet? Because Myles Garrett released a video last night that made me think he might have 45 sacks next year.
Yep.
That might happen. So good for you guys at Cleveland. But why the handling of the games and the moving of games and the bye week early in week 2 or week 3, I think, or maybe week 4 for the Steelers without them even knowing it was a bye week. How did you guys get through all the shuffling of it? And did you have much say last year, or was it kind of the NFL was handling it? We're going to do this whole thing.
No, we had a say in it, and we would get our kind of results back league-wide around 10 a.m. every morning, and I know I would kind of be waiting at the phone at about that time because you'd be waiting to see what was going on around the league, whether we had positives, how many positives. And then it was about trying to figure out through the lens of how to keep everybody safe. And that was kind of the issue that I think a lot of fans and people in the public got confused about. Early on, we did not have the high-risk close contact policy. So what we were seeing was players would get sick, and as long as they were testing negative, they were allowed to come in the building. But they would eventually turn positive and start shedding virus, even though they tested negative the day before. So then we were getting these rolling positives day after day that was causing these postponements. So that's why we went to the high-risk close contact policy, where if you were deemed a high-risk close contact, which we used the contact tracers, we used interviews, we used video surveillance from the facility, and we looked at who you came in contact with, and if you were deemed a high-risk close contact, they would pull you out of the building because we knew most of the positive came within 5 days. So you'd be pulled out for 5 days, and that would cut the rolling positive.
How do you play football and do all this shit? Like a lot of NFLPA presidents, right? I think there is a potential chance that teams aren't as likely to maybe that'll change with you and Andrew Barry and everything going on like that. But I think when you get put in this position where you are the one representing the business fight against the NFL, there's a chance you can kind of get a stigma around the league. And plus, you talk about these rolling positives that you're dealing with during the season. How do you manage it all? Is it just, are you like Mark Wahlberg or The Rock? You like have, all right, I'm waking up at 4 a.m. I'm getting a prayer in. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna read the Bible. I'm gonna golf 9 holes. I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna read a script. I'm gonna pray. I'm gonna golf. I'm gonna take my kids to school. Is that what you have to do? How do you handle this all? Isn't that a lot? I mean, that's a lot, I feel like.
In the last year, I've learned more about epidemiology and viruses than I would ever imagine wanting to.
Yeah.
So last year was definitely a long year, and you had to learn a lot. I mean, hearing from experts about what the best medical grade cleaner is for the facility wasn't always the most exciting phone calls to be on. But you had to dive so much into the weeds of everything that was going to go on at the facility and how you're going to keep the players safe. It was a lot of phone calls.
What's going to happen with and this is not just, I mean, I'm kind of putting you in a terrible spot here, and I apologize. You're president, though. You can fucking figure it out. It's happening in every single walk of life now at this point. The city of Pittsburgh said, I think the city of Pittsburgh came out, if I read the tweet headline right, which probably isn't accurate, but it kind of makes sense with the narrative. If 70% of citizens in Pittsburgh get the vaccine, there'll be no more mask mandates or anything like that. Allegedly, that's from a headline. Now, we talked to Mac Brown, who is the head coach at UNC. He said that they were told, like, if your team gets vaccinated, everything can go back to normal. If one person, 2 people don't, you can't. So it's like, okay, so it kind of like feels like you're going to have to be forced to be vaccinated. Now, knowing that the NFL is the greatest melting pot of melting pots in our country, where people from all backgrounds with all different mindsets come together for one common goal and, really learn about each other, befriend, make family. I mean, it becomes something special. But with that, especially with the NFLPA, there's going to be a lot of differing viewpoints. That's just how it's going to go. With the vaccine thing, how is that getting handled? And what do you have to do? Because are you sending out, like, votes to the teams, to the players for them to decide? Because this is going to become something I think that is a very, very, very hot topic as we roll back into the NFL going full force again.
Yeah, so the league is not going to mandate the vaccine. But there will be changes like we've seen in other sports to the protocols that guys have to follow based off if you're vaccinated or not. And that's just following the science of what a vaccinated individual is allowed to do or is immune from. What we've focused on is not telling guys what to do. It's been educating them and giving them resources to make their decision.
Okay.
Because like you said, I look at the NFL locker room as just a microcosm of regular society. And I think we go really how society goes. And we saw that with the virus itself. As society struggled with it, we struggled with it. And we followed their trends too. And we'll probably see the same thing with the vaccine. And we have a great medical director in Tom Mayer, who any player that has questions, we send him his contact information. He walks them through whatever they're worried about for them or their families. And that's been our focus, and just educating them. I know I've gotten vaccinated. I'm waiting for my last couple of weeks just to get fully vaccinated. I've got the second shot. But I think that's going to be a slow process, and teams are also educating their players. But again, it's not going to be mandatory. The NFL has said that.
Is Woody Johnson coming out and saying, hey, we're kind of getting a bad rap with the Johnson one? Can the NFL maybe do that a little bit? It sounds like you did not do that because you got the 2-shot. Johnson's just the
Single
one overhand,
dosage,
right? Yeah, but it's interesting. What do you have, Connor?
Yeah, JC, clearly you're a very, very smart person. When you're playing football, do you talk shit and use like massive words to confuse everybody, or are you kind of more of a quiet guy?
Oh, he has to be liked now, though.
Yeah.
I'm more of a quiet guy. I don't talk much during the game. There was more Union smack talk on the field this year than I've heard before.
Hey, you signed shit deals. That would be awesome to hear a D lineman. Oh, that would be amazing. Is that real?
Oh yeah.
Oh my! Well, and that leads me to my last question here. The narrative for a long time, when I was before your presidency, okay, before your presidency, Mr. President, okay, but for a long time, the NFLPA's rep is one that, okay, this one kind of stinks compared to the other unions. Obviously, it's large, it is very diverse, but it feels like in the biggest league on earth, there is more disgruntled people post-football and maybe even during football than other unions. Why is that, you think? And how do you change it? And is it just going to be impossible to make everybody happy? And that's kind of just how you have to view it every single day.
Yeah, I mean, you're never going to make everybody happy. I mean, that's easy to see. But the way I've kind of approached my first year is really focusing on the union is the players, and the strength comes from that. And too often, even players currently playing look and see the union as something not including them, of they're looking over top of them. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's what I've been trying to change a little bit or talk about is where the union. So if you're upset about a deal we signed, that's on us as players. We have to take more of an onus on demanding the things we want and getting the things we want. And that's with us sticking together and doing the things we're doing to fight for that stuff. And it's not, passing the blame off to staff or anybody else. It's our job as players. It's our bodies. It's our contracts. It's our money. And we have to take onus on getting the best deals possible.
You're also taking on like 31 billionaires who have, a team of lawyers, each of them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And their job is to maintain that billion status and try to get to trillion status.
Yeah.
So that has to be a tough thing. I understand that. I had a relatively terrible experience with the NFLPA, but I'm excited to hear that it sounds like there's somebody in there who is like, hey, let's go ahead and try to do this thing for real. The NFLPA needs its first time in a long time. I've heard that. JC Tretter, we appreciate the hell out of you, buddy.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Hey, by the way, whenever shit happens, you guys need to PR. Hey, the NFL is out here feeding people information. The NFLPA won't agree to this deal where they get $10 billion over the and everybody's like, oh, the NFLPA sounds like a bunch of like privileged assholes, basically. Like, you get to play the game and that whole thing. And you guys keep it all tight to the vest, which I appreciate. That's business. You got to do what you got to do. But, JC, you got to get in the PR game. You guys got to get in the PR game, I think, okay? Need to get in there.
Hey, whenever anything comes up, invite me on. I'll come on and we'll
There we go.
Good
Ladies
idea.
and gentlemen, NFLPA president, Cleveland Browns center, has been the starter for every game in the last 4 years. Ladies and gentlemen, JC. The team's good, by the way. Congrats. Playoff win.
Hell yeah.
The whole thing.
They're back.
We never get to talk about that, which is another thing that probably stinks for him as the NFLPA president's always talking about bullshit, not like his actual performance. They do good. They run the ball very well, by the way. So he moves bodies. Cool guy. He's in battle every day, though. I don't know how the fuck he could do that and play in the NFL at the same time.
I mean, that's an absolute full-time gig he has on top of his full-time gig of being a starter in the NFL.
What do you say, 10 a.m. on Tuesdays? I'd be keeping an eye out for how the NFL did testing-wise, let alone also preparing for the Steelers potentially coming in. That's wild. Good for him, though. And I think he knows that a lot of people have probably thought that the NFLPA, a lot of former players, a lot of people in the league, it's like, hey, we got to do better. I like the fact that it feels like he's going to try his best at least. I don't know if he's going to get it accomplished, but he's going to try his best, isn't he, AJ?
It's probably like being a politician a little bit. Like, you get in, you're like, oh, okay, it's impossible to get anything done here.
Oh, Gonzo told us, 2 years something's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's like, Gonzo, what? Yeah. Don't forget about this, man.
Right guy for the job, though.
I like JC Tretter. He's a big dude, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, you know what he was when he was talking about OTAs and how they're turned into full-time practices. Like that's how I remember JC. Like when he first got in the team, and we're in OTAs, and I go down to just go like kind of fit up in on a run play, and the dude just headbutts me, and he's so damn cockstrong, drives me like 10 yards down the field. I'm like, dude, we're in OTAs. What are you like? I'm trying to get off of him too. I'm trying to throw him off, and he just has me locked up. Like that's how I remember him.
And then now he's like, these OTAs, listen, they forced me to do it. Listen, I might have set the tone early, but this is what everybody does now. We're getting after it, all right? This is, and I like the fact that he said, AJ, you know this, because my OTAs were always the same speed as the regular season.
That's nice.
It's always just the same speed every single time. I want full go every time.
That's right.
AJ, you running another 40, man? When can we get that done?
I will not be running the 40. I can promise you that.
Why not?
Come on.
You gotta.
Let's get to a break, and then we'll answer some phone
It's not
calls.
even fun to watch people run 40.
Yeah, that's what I realized as well while I was watching it.
Unless you're Darren Ravel.
Hey, I'll tell you what. Quiddy Pay, him running his 40, I've seen that video a few times. Awesome. He is yoked.
Big body.
He is big boy.
With the next pick, the Indianapolis Colts social media digital documentary series, they released the draft one finally. It was really well done. 18 minutes in there. Jim Irsay's got some magical drop-ins in there. You guys must really like him, huh? Yeah, we love him. He'll hit the dog shit out of you. Oh. Oh, okay. And then on a phone call, he goes, I'm excited to make you a millionaire here. Yeah. And then I'll pass you over to Frank. Yeah, it's really cool. They got great access. Chris Ballard lets them like all the way in. It's
smart.
Really,
He's so smart. Like market your team. That's what you should do. People want to see that stuff.
There's this one Midwest scout who, I'll tell you what, we're going to learn quickly if this guy fucking stinks at football or not. He's a Midwest area scout. I assume Big Ten scout is what that means as well. He was the one who went to bat for Quiddy, you know, and that whole thing. Then he gets interviewed. Another pick that he gets interviewed. He's great personality, by the way. He looks like he has a good time. But I mean, this with the next pick draft, the way he's talking about these players he's scouted.
They were his picks.
Well, they are.
Is this on their website?
I think it's on YouTube. I do believe. Really good.
I'll check it out.
Wait till you see this Midwest scout. He is the star of the show.
Yeah.
But the way he's building it, this is a lot of cold takes potentially.
High expectations for these guys.
I feel like, I like that they're giving this much love to the guy, but then as the video continued, I'm like, this guy.
Wait a minute.
If he hits, this guy might get a gold jacket immediately. And if he's off just a little bit, they're going to be like, this guy.
Get him out.
I never heard of him, but he looks like a guy we should become friends with. He looked hilarious. On the other side, we'll take some phone calls and wrap up the day. This is the Pat McAfee Show, Thursday, May 6th.
Lakers, welcome to the Blender, the home of a team and a fan base on a playoff push the likes the world has never seen before. Crescent City, get on your feet for tonight's starting lineups, brought to you by Sprite, an incredibly refreshing drink. Starting at forward was the number 2 overall pick in the 2016 NBA draft. Now he's an NBA All-Star, Brandon Ingram. At forward, this man has been dunking on little white kids on the internet for 10 years. The incomparable, unstoppable 6'6" phenom, Zion Williamson. At center, standing at 8 feet tall, from Georgia Tech, number 22, Derek Favors. This man's family had a reality show in Lithuania. He was born and raised in LA, but he found his J in Vienna. Lonzo Ball. and the OG of the roster. On the court, he's a monster. Braids hanging, shots banging. It's not Drew, it's Drew Holiday. Let's get this done. Thank you very much. Go Pelicans.
Tired of me right now. That's how you play basketball. This will be a 5-bowler from the Red Panda. Up we go. Yes! 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 Red Panda!
What a legendary moment.
You're a legend. It's an honor. All right, so mission accomplished, right? Come down, intro some players, throw some bowls to Red Panda.
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. We thank you for taking the time to seek out this small regional show that streams internationally. Here's Pat and the boys.
Welcome back to that show. Breaking news, this important PSA is brought to you by Manscaped.com. This is your public... No, I'm sorry. This is not a public service announcement.
Oh.
No. This is a pubic service announcement and the news you've been waiting for. The Manscaped engineering team has confirmed that they have successfully created the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, which is now available for purchase in the United States and Canada. Yeah! Listen, they had the 1.0, changed the game.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Proprietary technology for, a nick-free manscaping shave. I actually saw Manscaped on Shark Tank just the other night. They ran a replay of this whole thing with the pitch, the idea. Lori's involved, Cuban's involved. We got involved with the Lawnmower 1.0. We said, wow, this thing's unbelievable. Then the 2.0. Then the 3.0. And then now somehow they've made the best version of something I didn't think could get any better. The Lawnmower 4.0. It's a whole new balls game.
Wow. That's good. Does that thing got a Hemi in it?
Well, their advanced ceramic blade and skin-safe technology is so good that it almost seems as if Manscaped worked with Elon Musk's engineers to ensure your testes are as safe as possible. What makes this trimmer different than all the other trimmers? A new multi-function on and off switch can engage a travel lock.
Huge. Kidding me?
Because they turn on in your thing, and then it vibrates, and you get there, it's dead.
Yeah, kicking around.
Now, although this thing does have an incredible charging station, it looks beautiful on your thing. That thing's a pain in the ass to do that. Trim that beard. It also has a 4K LED light on it. The new trimmer even allows you to customize your trim all over through additional guard length sizes 1 through 4.
That's huge.
You can trim that mustache if you want to get rid of it.
I could.
Trim
it.
No, get the other guards.
I could.
Don't get rid of that mustache. If I had that mustache, I would never.
Okay.
Unless you want to.
Shave an eyebrow.
Do the side of your face.
Do an eyebrow.
No, are you doing your mustache?
No. You kidding me?
Do an eyebrow.
No way! You would not get cut if you did. And that
wouldn't.
is meant for your manscaping areas, but it also works beautifully around the face if you want to maybe use the 4.0 for one thing and the 4.0 for another thing.
Yep, good idea.
Get two. Get 20% off and free worldwide shipping by going to manscaped.com/Pat. Wireless charging as well.
Whoa.
What?
Yeah, 4.0's new wireless charging system uses electromagnetic induction, which can help battery length last longer.
Holy shit.
You hear that, AJ?
Make sure you go balls then face, Connor, when you're trimming.
No, two different ones. Need two different ones. And you can do that with this incredible deal. You get 20% off and free worldwide shipping at manscaped.com/Pat. 20% off free shipping at manscaped.com/Pat. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped.
This thing's awesome.
It is.
It is unbelievable, yeah.
The light is so
I know, it's
bright,
like a
too.
floodlight
It looks
on
like
there.
a trophy.
Yeah.
When you open it up, it's like, I'm going to go ahead and shave my title belt with this trophy right here.
Yeah.
And it's going to be nick-free technology, better than ever, wireless charging, and a lock so it doesn't stupid charge in the bag. AJ, you have one of these, and your face is always cleanly shaven. I assume you go face and then Manscaped, or do you have two?
I actually I bought a lawnmower back in the day. I don't know what version it may be, 1 or 2. So yeah.
Well, don't get caught left behind because the 4.0 is the best version.
It's time to upgrade, AJ.
Oh yeah, I'm
going
gonna
next
upgrade.
level.
Definitely gonna upgrade after that PSA. That penis service agreement or with Connor?
You're an asshole, dude. It was a pubic service announcement.
Just for quick,
Ladies
and the
can use
pubic
it, too.
service announcement is to help out for your potential penis service announcement later. Okay,
get it right.
You trim the bushes, the tree stands taller. Let's get some phone calls.
What are
here.
you, Sasquatch? You gotta shave your penis, AJ?
Penis service
Jesus,
agreement. I
dude.
do believe that's solicitation.
Yeah, that's prostitution. Is what you're talking
What?
about. This was a pubic service agreement. Announcement. Maybe an agreement too with your boss to take care of them with the lawnmower 4.0.
Hell yeah!
All right, let's get some phone calls. Nick in Michigan, what's going on?
Pat, shout out.
Shout out.
Shout out. So here's what I'm worried about, Pat. I know that you and Aaron are big wrestling fans. This all reminds me of the Bash at the Beach, July 7th, 1996, where Hulk Hogan became the third member of the New World Order and just leg dropped Macho Man into oblivion. So what I don't want to see, so everyone's talking about June 1st is the day that Rodgers can be traded. June 1st happens to be a Tuesday. I'm worried about having Pat McAfee, Aaron Rodgers Tuesday. Rodgers comes into the studio and leg drops Ty in front of everybody.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, to be honest, that would be pretty sweet.
And if you went to a team that is represented in the room, imagine if he goes and they lift up the hands together. That would be awesome. AJ, let's try to make that happen, shall we?
Let's do it. It'll be like a high school kid picking a college. Put some hats out for him.
Yeah, but instead he's doing leg drops in.
Yeah. Maybe he
I
leg
couldn't hear
drops
the guy.
everybody.
So he wanted A-Rod to do a leg drop on Ty?
Yeah, like Hulk Hogan did on Randy Savage when he joined the NWO at Bash at the Beach.
That's when he changed. That's when he dyed his little stubble black, right?
Yeah, he became a heel. That became Hollywood Hogan, which he had been wanting to do that for years, allegedly, and wasn't able to do it until he went to the WCW. And in a very reminiscent conversation, John Cena's last kind of cinema match, because John Cena was created because of Hulk Hogan, right? Like wrestling is cyclical, just like the world is. You go from the Hulk Hogan, vitamins, prayers, everything, Ultimate Warrior, here you go. Then obviously you hit into the Attitude Era, and then that kind of has its entire run. And then after that, John Cena comes back, and it's like, okay, here you go. So a lot of people think that John Cena missed on his heel run he could have had, just like Hulk Hogan was able to have at WCW. But John Cena, his career is still like greatest of all time in a lot of people's eyes. But it would have been awesome to see him become bad guy. Would have been awesome.
Until you finished it with that explanation, I was like, wait, Hulk was also one of the greatest Navy SEALs of all time?
He's
Marine of
Marine,
all time?
God damn it.
Navy SEAL Marine of all time?
Come on,
All right, let's go. Hustle, loyalty, respect. You showed none of that.
Yeah.
I love John Cena.
But in his match with The Fiend, he recreated Hollywood Hulk Hogan coming out as a heel because everybody said Cena should do it because Hulk got to do it, blah, blah, blah. Now he's a bad guy in the movie.
Yeah.
Maybe.
The ultimate heel turn.
He pretty much captured Bin Laden. He did.
Mikuya?
John Cena.
Okay. Let's go to
He
Ian.
announced it to everybody.
He did on
That video was making the rounds.
Last week.
Yes.
Would like to, yeah, that was my birthday.
Yeah.
It was May 1st or May 2nd. I forget when exactly it happened. I think it happened May 1st late night. Whenever that whole thing happened, I was at a casino having a great time, and it came up on the thing, and everybody was like, "This fucker's dead." Yeah. What a celebration that was. Morgantown had everybody in the city was in the streets. There was like a full celebration street festival. I assume a lot of colleges were doing that as well.
Still got the paper.
And John Cena did make that announcement on Raw. I think, was it Monday Night Raw? I assume it was. Felt like that was a Monday or a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Feels like it.
It was at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view.
So Sunday.
Yeah, it was a Sunday night. Literally, I guess they fed him the information while he was in the ring. Goes through his match, and then cuts a promo.
Hey. Bin Laden's dead.
We got him.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? In the middle of the match? No. Oh, my God, that would be awesome. No, like Bin Laden is dead.
He's getting ready to hit someone with the FU.
Juiced up, too.
Why does this have anything to do with me, dude? Well, you gotta
be the one to let him know.
You announce it, don't you? And then you gotta give one of your packs. Yeah, you're 100% right, dude. But let's get out of here. That's amazing.
Do you remember how we celebrated that evening, Pat?
No, we were in a casino, though, weren't we?
Yeah, went to the casino.
Yeah, you saw the news in the casino. Couldn't lose that night.
Can't lose.
Nobody lost that night, Pat.
No, we did, though, because it was Pittsburgh Casino.
Except for
son of a bitch.
So we lost our money, but we did not lose a great night. Everybody was having a blast. I think that was Sunday night, I guess. Yeah, May 1st, I would assume. Let's go to the fence. By the way, there's me once again during the off-season vacationing in Pittsburgh.
Smart.
Yeah. I mean,
a lot of people do that.
Let's go to Rocky in Oregon. What's going on, Rocky? Airbnb wasn't around back then. It would have been a much different world.
You stay with your parents?
No, I just get a hotel room, stay at another house, sleep on couches. I would sleep on couches all the time. They'd wake up to go to work all hungover, and I'm just like, good luck out there. See you guys about 8 hours. I'm going to be here, though. I'm going to be here whenever you guys get back. We're going to do this again. And they were like, fuck. All right, Nick would go to work. Angelo would go to work. And then they'd come home, and I'd be waiting for him with like, round 2.
Let's go.
Round 2. No, I got to work tomorrow. Yeah, I'm leaving tomorrow. Yeah. So we got to do it. It was tough times, I assume, for those guys, but they powered through it. A lot of those bars down to the south side are very thankful for those vacations. I mean, there's a couple upgrades in there. Not in security, but you know what I mean. Hey, Southside, there's a full article coming out about Carson Street and how terrible it is, and we were quoted in it a few times. I don't know if it's good or bad to be the face of Southside right now.
Pretty good, actually.
Yeah, I feel like it's good.
What do you, just a lot of fights or what?
Zone.
Yeah, whenever we talked about where Aaron Donald got into where he saved the guy's life, hindsight now, where he got sued though, we talked about it, because that's where literally I vacationed in the off season and where we, grew up. It's like, hey, there's a couple, codes to live by when you're walking through south side of Pittsburgh. And it's like, keep your head on a swivel. It's going to happen potentially. But boy, everybody has the same mindset. We're all going to one place here. Everybody's trying to do it. It just gets a little bit hectic. And now more shit's happening there. I think there's some player got accused of doing, some Pitt player got accused of doing something terrible down there. I mean, it's just like, the south side is getting quite a rap right now. And we are a part of every article that's being written about it.
You'll be fine as long as you're not Mickey Mouse. I mean,
I'm okay with going down to the south side right now, by the way.
Yeah, be as if.
Well, right now there's COVID rules, though, so.
True.
When that place opens back up, I want other people to go so it comes back, and then I want to know we're safe, then I'm going to go.
I'm hearing it's pretty open.
Rocky in Oregon, we're hearing it's pretty open in south side of Pittsburgh. How is it over there in Oregon? What do you want to talk about?
Hey, Oregon always sucks, man. Kate Brown's got this state on lockdown. But, hey, what I want to run by you guys.
Oh, Buddy said we're the only team that has no fan. Yeah, Portland. Trailblazers.
Whoa, bummer. Well, not talking crap about the Blazers, but hey, so why are the Niners going to have an injured giraffe mentor Trey Lance? Don't you think it's probably RG666 would be the better mentor in that situation instead of some guy who runs out of bounds and tears his ACL?
Oh, okay, Rocky. All right, whoa. Let's go to Evan in Colorado. Unbelievable. Evan, what do you want to talk about?
What's going on, boys? Thank you for the call. Shout out to NFL Insider AJ Hawk over there.
Shout out, AJ.
Thank you, AJ.
NFL Network Insider.
Well, boys, just wanted to talk to you about a little news I saw about Chad Ochocinco being on the undercard of the Logan Paul Floyd Mayweather fight.
Thank you for the call, Evan. And we should be talking about that.
Yeah.
Sweet Feet Johnson's going to win. Uh-oh. I saw the clip. Okay. I saw Channing Crowder, Fred, and Brandon Marshall all act as you would hope his friends would act. But I, as an outsider who's not a friend of Ocho Cinco's, I would like to let everybody know from watching that dude, he's going to win. All right, he's not going to do anything and stink it. It seems like he doesn't really do much that he's not good at. He seems to pick and choose things. He said he's been training in boxing for a long time. I have no idea who he's fighting. I don't think that's been announced yet. I assume it will be, but I assume Sweet Feet Johnson's going to get a win.
Yeah.
That's just how I feel about it.
So did this just happen? Like, I want to know who he's. Do you think he'll fight somebody that's a known character? It would have to be.
I believe today that Matt Barnes said like, "Hey, I'll fight him." If,
Yeah.
So I don't know.
All right, go. Okay, so all of a sudden, I'm conflicted. All right, so I guess I should wait and see who he is potentially fighting. But Ocho said a few times, and I don't like to get hit. I'm not getting hit. They're like, "What?" Hey, Channing Crowder said, Chad. They're fighting back, Chad. Like, he was like this. He was, by the way, being very hysterical in that entire situation. But I also think, like, looking out for him. I think he said he's going to come in night clothes so that whenever you get slept, I'm going to fucking come up there. Like, he was letting them know that whole thing. And Chad was basically, it seemed like he was pretty confident, but he's like, I'm not going to get hit. And I believe that, by the way. Like, I don't think
depends who you fight, I think.
They did say, I believe it's going to either be another celebrity or athlete. So it's not
it's not going to be a professional boxer. I got faith in Ocho.
Nate Robinson might want another shot.
Well, he actually got referenced by Channing. I believe he said, "Do you remember Nate Robinson?" And he said, "Booty up."
Yeah.
It was. Hey, it was a hysterical clip. The I Am Athlete podcast, which comes to you live from House of Athlete down there in South Florida. Brandon Marshall and them have put on an incredible show. And that, I'm here for Ocho, by the way. He was there at the Jorge Masvidal press conference. Now he's going to be at the biggest fight. This is what Ocho does, by the way. He's been playing chess a lot longer than everybody else in this entire game.
He shows up like at Conor McGregor things, too. Like when all of a sudden he's backstage talking to Conor. Like, I tell you what, man, he's impressive. I want to see what he looks like as a boxer, though.
I think he's going to be very good. He said
we know he's super athletic.
Well, he said his body is so healthy because the calluses that have been built on his muscles from eating McDonald's every day. Mm-hmm. So he's hardened by that. Everybody else that eats healthy, they don't get it. They don't get it, he said.
Good logic.
He's awesome. It's true. It is true. That dude showed up and just ran incredible routes. He played soccer. He kicked. He did. I assume he's going to win. Now, if Matt Barnes gets into the game, I'm like, okay, so I got a lot of respect for Matt Barnes, too.
Yeah.
Hour 3, ending, today's show ending. Chris Mad Dog Russo with Mad Dog Unleashed on the other side of a 6-minute break. AJ, your thoughts on our show today and why people should maybe listen tomorrow?
Well, I know we have a big show lined up Friday. Obviously, huge guest usually on Friday, but I'm excited. Probably some more breaking stuff overnight, I would imagine. I don't know with what, but we'll see. Schefter's going to have a rebuttal, right, to all these people saying he was wrong?
I would assume so. And by the way, I think we were very fair on that entire thing. The internet seems to be reacting much differently, but I mean, that's the game. I would assume when you get into the insider waters, okay, there's some sharks out there. You can get got. AJ's the insider to the insiders. He's talking about breaking news tomorrow. We'll see you then. Mad Dog Unleashed is in 6 minutes. Yeah, nailed it, dude. Just fucking let's go. Just fucking nailed it, dude.
Never doubt.
Had like
why didn't you go to Tampa yesterday? Your plane break?
No, plane's good.
What?
I think.
The hell's that?
I hope.
AJ.
Can AJ saying more breaking news overnight be added to the tickers?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, for sure.
Gumpy, good work on that ticker, by the way. We kind of gave up kayfabe there. Gumpy is the one ticking.
Yeah.
You want to make it on the ticker? It's not easy.
No,
it's not.
Not easy. Gumpy is stern but fair with that ticker.
That's right.
Gumpy's gonna be selling spots on the ticker for
All
sure.
right, remember. We are giving away $10,000 today to the YouTube
That's
viewers.
right. Here we go.
We didn't forget that.
No.
Nope. $3,400 up for grabs at the end of last night's vlog. If you haven't watched it yet, please do. Foxy has done an incredible job. Roman, getroman.com /Pat, asked Foxy if he could document everything, and they basically were like, is there any way you guys could do this again? We would like to do it. Foxy has been absolutely dominating it. Last week was huge. Draft spectacular. Inside sources. #JNew. Vince McMahon. I mean, it is everywhere. $3,400 up for grabs. At Foxy, I think we'll have to probably randomly select it in the comment section, not the condom section. Maybe in the condom section as well. Roman has
They
some
do
new
have,
condoms
yeah.
that are unbelievable.
At
So-
Walmart.
Yeah,
Jimmy has.
and everybody should use that. No glove, no love. But I believe Foxy's probably going to figure out how to fix or pick a winner there for the third 400.
Yeah, I actually picked the first 2 vlog winners last night, and then the third one I'll pick next week. Somehow I'll announce that, maybe on the show or maybe on the vlog.
Oh, Foxy teases. Okay, and now $10,000 up for grabs right now. In the comments section of last week's vlog. Okay, in a comment of last week's vlog. You have to, what was last week's episode? What was it? What happened? We got locked out? Right?
First time with
You
Vince.
met, yeah.
First time
in
with,
your ear.
oh yeah, that was the thing.
And then, forgetting the suit, getting locked out.
There has to be something we can do. All right, give us an idea in the comments for the best way to give away the money tomorrow.
Ooh,
Hell yeah.
perfect. And
There we go.
the
AJ, wait, weren't you the one who was supposed to come up with the idea on how we give away $10,000? That we definitely had full pre-production.
You did say that.
AJ
yes.
would be the one that
AJ's
picks.
got it.
Yeah, that was a production meeting before today's show. We talked about that. What do you think?
Well, I mean, I did watch the third vlog, right? That was the one last night it got released.
Episode 3, yeah, incredible work, Fox.
Great job, Foxy.
Thank you.
AJ
I
does
think-
always say that.
I thought it was very good, Foxy. You know how much I pump you up and what you do. I know it does
about
not go
Foxy?
unnoticed.
Thank you, AJ.
You do.
Thank you.
But I think maybe
Company, by the way.
Yeah.
for something though, it should have something to do with the video I was sent by a couple of the Bugle Boys yesterday of the bathroom party that Foxy got his start with.
All right. So we'll be back tomorrow.
out Brian Taylor.
Tomorrow we'll give away $15,000 since we couldn't come up with anything today. $15,000 up for grabs. AJ, why can't? Goes back to your point that you were saying about us and kind of making us realize that's why with what you just did right there.
Yep.
What? Okay, my bad. Seeing where a great filmmaker got his start, like the origin story, everyone loves it.
Yeah. You're right. That will make its way out someday, but that is not happening today.
No.
Okay.
Wouldn't you love to see? I would love to see Jim Cameron's first student film he did.
You're right. And someday after Foxy takes over the Avatar series and makes 5 or 6 of them, that will get out, and that will be a big deal. That would be like a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Now's not the time, though, for this particular giveaway. I appreciate your deep thought there. Okay.
Thank you, AJ.
Thank you for thinking about that all night. Tomorrow, $15,000 up for grab from the Fanduel Beach House. We'll be live. Boys will be here. Hammered Down Boys are going live in 1 hour at youtube.com/Hammered Down. You guys have been hot as fucking hell. You're continuing to ride that wave.
I was 5-1 yesterday, so.
Where were you go?
Even Steven, my friend.
Oh, this guy stinks. You didn't deserve that cup.
No, I did.
No. You
Should
did
be
Too
better.
much time on the ticker. He's taking up his research time.
AJ.
Oh, that's what we do tomorrow. Tomorrow, ticker trivia.
Oh,
This will be the first. Tomorrow will be the first ticker trivia for $15,000. I think it'll be.
Well, it's 10,000 now that we came up with an idea.
Yeah, you're right.
Good
But
point.
we didn't do the trivia yet, so it would have to be tomorrow.
True.
And since we are delaying it, we announced it for today. I feel like there is some
Smart.
sort of taxing process that we have
Sure.
to make it right. So $15,000 tomorrow, ticker trivia. If you're watching along during the show, it'll behoove you. We'll figure out how we put it together, but it'll be in the ticker. There'll be a trivia question that'll scroll out one time each hour. Okay, one time each hour will scroll out. You have to get all 3 answers right. Obviously, we'll figure out how you enter, and then I would assume the first person that gets the right answer will get the $15,000.
Yeah, like a post show, whoever tweets out the hashtag PMS ticker trivia.
But I wanted to do it for the commenters and the subscribers. But it's much easier to find the winner on Twitter.
Yeah,
so
with the hashtag.
so it's like we'll figure out overnight how we're
Take
gonna.
a screenshot of yourself commenting in the.
And then what?
the
Tweet
comment
that?
and tweet
Yeah,
that, right?
that's a good idea.
What?
So it's a little bit of both, right?
That's gonna be tough because these comments fly.
They
Oh,
do
they can take a
fly.
picture of their own comment, right?
I have no idea how that works.
Screenshot that.
Because I would like the YouTube people to benefit from this because they are the most loyal day to day. I mean, I don't know how the fuck you guys do it, but we appreciate you. The analytics say you do it for a long time too. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
We love analytics.
We love analytics. We do when it looks like that.
Yeah.
There's some other analytics we don't love, I assume.
Nope.
No, I haven't actually run into none that I don't.
Really?
With this particular operation, I don't think we have yet. Now, just sports media influencer, but
AJ, how many shows do you have this afternoon?
Not too much. I just one more little quick hit after this. Not a show.
What were you going to say? You're going to say something about the influencer line. You're going to say how pissed off are you about this. You're going to say, how long am I going to carry this grudge for? Forever.
I know that. And I appreciate that. I respect that. But for future people that may write something about you, what would you like to be referred to?
I just don't like, do whatever you want to do. But I just don't like that some people are being classified as like business geniuses. And then we're like,
I get it. I'm with you. I get it. I like I said, I'm glad you got it out. I'm glad you let go of it and didn't just sit there and hold it.
Well, now, all these people, though, that are out here doing this thing, and this is what we maybe need you to do for us, is the glad handing, the circuits, the panels. This is what we do, this whole thing. Right. I mean, I went on to, what was that, Ad Week? I went on Ad Week. And the guy introed me. He goes, let's take a break from business. Let's talk about a personality that's doing this whole thing. And I was like, well, we could talk business if you. I thought I was going on there to talk business. Like, I was actually like, okay, I'm gonna get a chance to do something here that all these other people get to do, and I'm excited to do it in like a tank top here, while kind of talking about the future of the world. And I'm not the only person that does this, by the way. There are thousands of people that are content creators that are making money in the business. It's just an entirely new wave. I just don't like the fact that we are in the sports world, not in the real world. There's people on YouTube that are just absolutely slaughtering everybody business-wise in the content game. I mean, they do what they got to do. But in the sports world, we kind of, in a lot of these articles, it appears as if we get kind of thrown away as like, oh, look at these people over here. It's like, I don't know, man. I've been diving deep into a lot of our numbers, our accounts, our social medias, our everything, our revenue, our merch, our live show expectation for this next season, our diversified revenue income. I've been having a lot of these conversations with people that are pretty large, and I'm asking for comps, for people, and there's different comps in every different department or whatever, and I don't appreciate the fact that it just kind of gets thrown out that what everybody has accomplished in here is just kind of like, they're not doing anything. It's like, we're running fucking circles around y'all motherfuckers for sure. I don't know about everybody else, but I know for sure for you. So you're talking out of the side of your mouth right now that's kind of how I took it. And, Michael McCarthy then followed up with, he's into his feelings. That was very nice of you.
Really?
Like, yeah. So that's probably why the earlier today, it's like, you just proved how ignorant you are on the entire subject by acting as if what you just said was nice about me. It's not. What you just said was not nice about me, pal. So it's interesting, though, that Fanduel also went on there to do an interview about everything. And that company, I think, is owned by DraftKings right now or something.
Interesting strategy.
So it's like, it's just the levels of shit. I'm like, I don't fully comprehend.
It's good. Hey, that's all right. It's not a bad spot to be in, because the people that watch and follow every single thing you do are so invested. It makes them even stronger, I feel like.
Listen, and there's a lot of things we miss on. Right? I mean, of course. Hey, we hop in the batter's box.
Have to.
But our people are great. The people that are in this company are great. I'm very, very lucky to be where I'm at. And I just read it, and I'm like, yeah, fuck you, dude. Mm-hmm. All right? And there's a lot of things being said by people, like how smart they are. It's like, you need to stop. Like, what are you? Let's go, pal.
If they actually do some research, like it's undeniable what you have built. They know that.
You're a massive part of this thing, huh?
Yeah. I'm here. Yeah, I'm here now for a little bit, but I'm saying like what?
Yeah, we are thinking about firing you.
The whole thing that is created with all the boys and everybody and every single thing that's on the horizon. You're changing things.
Hammered Don, during the football season, 80,000 basically live views within 2 hours of that thing. When you start seeing these reports on what these network channels are getting, it's like, please have a little bit of respect for Tone, Gump, and fucking executive producer Mitt.
Yeah, EP Mitt. Okay?
Money Mitt.
Well, let's not forget that's when you were on it.
Yeah, but
that being said,
but still, big show.
Yeah.
Not even talk about. We've had conversations about potential contracts, and Phil has had to sit down opposite side of a table with computers aside from Harvard grads that are these people that are running these things. And Phil was actually like, nah, what you're saying, this is wrong. It's like, I just don't like the lack of respect. I know it's a new world for everybody. Okay. But it's not a new world for people that we learn from, which is Barstool, which in there, it was just like, they're the only company really that was in that article where I was like, yeah, I'm never going to be able to get them, right? That is not something we're ever going to be able to get to, just because Dave, Big Cat, that whole crew, They've been building this thing for like 15 years at this point. So people are just getting into the game now, and they're like, oh, we have this figured out. Like, this is how you do it. It's like, you motherfuckers have no idea. You have no clue. And then you look at like Joe Rogan, who was able to profit off the internet and his entire business that he runs. It's like, we got 13 people over here that do all of our work, basically. And we are very okay if you want to just sit down and just go company for company on who's doing what and how we're doing. But the next time you describe those people as like successful companies, and then you describe us as a sports media influencer, like you're just completely ignorant in the entire thing. So that is where I'm at. I don't like what happened in the way it was talked about. To be honest, I don't love that it seems like every article that comes out about Fanduel that's pretty big, we get kind of dunked on in the articles. It's like, it's the #1 sports book, right? I wonder, I mean, were we we probably weren't. We probably weren't
a lot of traffic.
No, we probably weren't. No, we probably weren't. We probably weren't. We probably weren't. I mean, there's graphs and analytics and things that we have seen that say much differently, but maybe the actual stuff, is we weren't at all.
And this is the second time, though. This is the second time. I remember when you got upset the first time.
This is the third time. This is the third time.
But it's people like with the relationship that you have with FanDuel. It's how does it continue to happen? Hey, tie it all together, Pat.
Exactly.
That's the question, AJ.
Don't you worry about that.
Think about this though. Hey, it's kind of like the Packers and Aaron. Like all just little things here or there, probably, and you would be all right.
Yeah, by the way, fascinating comparison. Yeah, because it is. You know what I mean? It's like, how come every time this happens, it seems like we get buried? Like how and it's like, well, we said this, the writer did there. I'm like, I understand they're going to do that, but like, what the fuck's going on, dude? We love Fanduel. And from what I've been told, it's a pretty great partnership in this entire thing.
Yep.
Just every time it feels like we get, kind of dunked on it. And it doesn't, the company, our fans, the people that go and do that stuff, it's just like, I don't like it.
Hey, I think the good thing is, though, because you're so close to it and obviously you're emotional about it, like I don't think the majority of people that read it view it the same way that you do. They don't think you're getting dunked on.
Well, that's because those people all think I am. They all think we are. That's the issue, is all these people that read this bullshit that they go on and do that, they have no idea who we are. So, like, we're getting introduced to probably a new group of people that didn't even know we existed. And the way we're talked about is as if we're just like some small, and it's like, y'all motherfuckers have no idea. Like, you don't even know. That's why, I think, because I hate that type of shit. I don't understand it. I guess if you want to go have somebody else tell your story and let them interject whatever the hell they want to interject and do that whole thing, I guess that's old media or whatever. But all these interviews happen with these companies where nobody knows who we are is reading that thing. And then whenever they read it, they see us and they're just like, oh, this company's this or whatever. It's like, that is not what we are. That is not what's going on. That is nowhere near the paragraph we should be in, okay? We should be alongside other names than the names you currently have us next to. It's just all that type of shit. But I think that's because I do look into everything. Like, I do actually, I don't know. It's just, all those motherfuckers are going to be gone soon anyway. Yep. So why do I even care?
I don't even know who else they were talking about in the article.
Well, it's not just this article. It's 3 articles.
It's multiple.
It's good you worked your ass off for it.
Well, we work our fucking ass off for it. That's...
It's good. It's good to keep that chip on your shoulder, Pat.
It's going to be there forever.
Hell yeah.
It's going to be tough.
Hey, to my detriment, too, by the way, sometimes. There are some situations where it's like, yeah, you might have a valid point, but fuck you.
That's part of it. Yeah.
That's just...
Sometimes you have to be irrational. Sometimes you know it, too. And you're like, you know what? I don't care. This is it.
I heard what you said. Well, it wasn't what... I don't care. I heard it. You remember Utah Jazz? You know what I mean? Old buddy walked into that restaurant and said, you guys stink or something.
That's
Michael
right.
Jordan.
Damage is done.
Oh, yeah. And at that point, I knew I wanted to win. All right, let's get to a break for like 20 hours or so.
Okay.
We're going to hop on a bird, fly down to Tampa. The reason why we didn't go down is because down there's no TV. It's not exactly easy to sleep. And for me, I slept maybe 5 hours the last time we were down there. So I wanted to sleep at the house. Ty is not making the trip with us either. So, because he's got, Ty's about to become like real adult here.
Bridal shower this weekend.
Whoa! Yeah, it's happening
now.
I would love to watch Ty to bridal shower for him.
He's gonna show up at the end.
No, Ty's in love.
My brothers are gonna be there. It's back home, so it's on my stomping grounds. I'll get liquored up. It'll be a good time.
Hey, by the way, I heard the youngest brother is the funniest.
Oh yeah, he's a weapon.
That's what I've been told. I've been told that the youngest brother is the best brother of all the Schmitz.
Wow, he is a great brother. The person that said that is an absolute wild card and was hammered for the entire time.
Yeah, and also my 2 older brothers, I think, were busting his balls quite a bit for being a fucking goofball. So that could, that could have went into. Man, my little brother, he's a good guy.
See, there is a little bit of, I think, amongst the Schmitz, dad included. I think there is an entire who's the quickest smartass of the entire, who's the quickest of the family. So I think. Whenever, I FaceTime to the bachelor party, they were golfing or whatever, and I was talking to a buddy. I'm like, I hope you guys are having a good time. I go, what are your thoughts on the Schmitz or whatever? And he goes, the youngest brother's the best by far or whatever. And he was right next to him at the time, so I think he was potentially trying to put him over. But one of the other brothers did hear that in the back, and almost a golf cart came in. He's like, what was that? What did you just say? And I was like, I'm going to get out of here, which is great because I showed up for 2 minutes. There was a little bit of a war started.
Mixed it up.
Which is my favorite.
It's a move.
It is a good move. It's a cool move. Oh, what's going on? Did you say? Oh, that's crazy. You said that. All right, I'm going to get out of here. It's awesome, AJ. It's a lot of fun. I'm out of here. Let's go. Got to get on a bird. Thank you, AJ, for everything.
Thank you, AJ. Have fun. Have fun in Florida.
Good luck on Tiki and Tierney tomorrow. Tonight, actually, 3:40.
Yeah. Oh, there it is.
Can people hear that? Listen to that? Where is that?
It's on there.
That was sweet.
Nice.
CBS, right? CBS.
Yeah, I believe CBS Sports Network.
Okay, is that also the app that has none of the BS, they say, just the sports, remember?
Oh, yeah.
They have a full 24/7 app, yeah. They were marketing it during the football season.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, do you want sports without all and they're mocking the pundit shows, I think, and it was like CBS Sports app or something like that, just all sports all the time. And if AJ's on there, they're looking for insiders and pundits then, and that's kind of goes against, because that's what AJ is at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Big pundits.
Top insider in the NFL game right now.
Right now, yeah, especially with the turn of events this morning.
Who's closer to Aaron than AJ?
Yeah, who's got Turd Ferguson on the line? Do you think he would have an entire costume planned if he wanted that type of information leaked the day before the Kentucky Derby? No way. The fact that people thought it was him, I am still befuddled by.
Everybody did. I feel like everybody I heard thought it was him. And thought he was trying to gain attention and steal in the draft. Why? Really? I don't know anyone that really.
This dude literally just said he was in quarantine in Canada in a small apartment or whatever. I don't know if he's just hey, I need attention right now. I don't know.
No, I don't think it's that at all. If I could try to get into the brains of those human beings, I would think it would just be the ultimate payback for 1 year after taking Jordan Love. But we all know Aaron doesn't care about that.
Well, he did care about it because it wasn't. Actually, I don't want to speak for him, but the Jordan Love pick wasn't that it was Jordan Love. Correct. It was that the thought was, we'll win 4 years from now, sustain success as opposed to go. I don't know for sure. But people are like, it's a Jordan Love pick. I don't think it's Jordan Love. I think it was the mentality behind the pick that was potentially the issue there. I'm happy this morning happened. Shout out to Dan Patrick getting that shit. That was awesome.
But you go back to the Bucs and Brady thing. The Bucs told Brady they were considering taking a quarterback
in the second round,
thinking about it. Just fucking tell the guy what you were thinking.
Dalton got told.
Dalton got told in Chicago.
Oh yeah, Bert Don.
He shouldn't care. Play fucking football. It's all right, dude. That's not the world we live in. Okay, welcome to the world. I'm sure you're very happy whenever Aaron's putting a team on his back and winning you happiness on a Sunday or Thursday or something like that. But now that he's hey, we could be doing a little bit more of this, couldn't we? Everybody else seems to be doing. Oh, fuck you.
Nah, fuck this guy. Get him out of tag, just like Brett. Fuck them both.
Well, look at the Dolphins. Haven't had a real quarterback since Marino? The guys guys like Rodgers don't fucking grow on trees, man. Yeah. Fiedler was probably the best one. He took us to the playoffs.
How about Jay Cutler? Wasn't he?
Culpepper. Don't take Culpepper. I played against him.
Thank you.
He's Blair.
But like a guy is what I'm saying.
Hey, the Dolphins, here's some breaking news from today. The Dolphins have released their defensive captain after a couple months after, or maybe a month after releasing Kyle Van Noy, another defensive veteran leader captain. They get rid of the other one, safety. Gumpy, your thoughts immediately hearing this?
Traded Shaq Lawson as well.
Get out.
It's all brilliant. Saving money for money that we didn't spend. It's great. We're just building the culture.
Who's coming in down there, you think, potentially?
Malik Hooker, right? Aren't they bringing in Malik Hooker? That's the
He
rumor?
was there for a visit.
Malik Hooker is a ball hawk, hell of a player. Go Buckeyes, Ohio State, Western Pennsylvania guy. But also there is what?
Couple other players.
There's a couple Patriots that are potentially out there that B-Flo might have a relationship with.
Oh, yeah. McCourty's out there still. They're still, maybe they go get Sherman, move him to safety. Who knows?
Wow, yeah, who knows?
Sherm is still out there.
Sherm is still out there. I think Sherm's kind of potentially.
I think he's going to go back to the Seahawks to finish it.
Yeah, he did say yesterday.
Feels like it.
Been thinking about Seattle. Would
He would
definitely be
like
open to. His family lives up there. That's where he is in the offseason.
Do the right thing,
Yeah.
Pete. Do the right thing.
Well, he's got to deal with Russ right now. Let alone.
Maybe he'll fucking bring him back down to earth.
We got Russ. We got Richard.
Richie.
I mean, we got problems over here. By the way, this is something I did want to talk about because JC Tretter told us that the contentious conversations between the NFL and the NFLPA are always happening because business, right? Business. You don't ever hear about them, though, when they're happening, right? Because that's what happens behind closed doors. That happens in the NFL, by the way. When you're talking big business, there's a chance that people can view things differently and separately, and that happens behind closed doors. I think that is why Aaron in Green Bay could potentially, at this moment, now that we're learning that league and team sources, who are the team source, who knows, that leaked this information to Schefter over the long haul, you could see how they could potentially be like, why are you airing us out? Like, we're trying to figure this out right now. Like, we are, now it's not going well, okay? 3 plane trips.
Yeah.
You guys have heard about it. It's not going well, but we have fucked up pretty big here in his eyes, and in our eyes we have as well. We're trying to make it right, but it getting public just makes it all dirty. It makes it all messy, and that's how business. If everything was leaked that was said during business negotiations, jeez, somehow it'd be even more negative world somehow.
This is all setting up for another chip on his shoulder. Aaron Rodgers, MVP, run it back. That's
a little spite run.
Yeah.
Then him and Devontae hit free agency. It seemed.
Where are we going?
Denver, dude. You heard Mark Schlereth a couple of no.
It's done.
Who knows how this will all work? The speculation has been crazy. And shout out to Shefty coming out and talking about it.
Yeah. Shout out.
He started a complete firestorm. While that was coming out and leaking on Dan Patrick's show, they were still talking on all the other shows about this whole thing happening. Yeah. I'll be excited to see the change in narrative potentially tomorrow, if there will be. If not, hey, we said this from the beginning. We got to hammer it home. That'll probably be how it is.
Yeah.
$15,000 up for grabs tomorrow in our first ever ticker trivia. We got to figure out how you win that. Be a friend, tell a friend, and thank you all so much for rocking with us. And I don't like attacking people. I don't like it. It's not good vibes. Okay, and maybe I'm feeling that way because a lot of people have been attacking us. I think what you put out, you get back in return, and maybe it's because we've been entrenched with the Aaron Rodgers stuff and people have been attacking me. I added a little bit more on edge or whatever. But the only reason why I can do that is because all y'all motherfuckers support the hell out of us. So we thank you so much. We will see you tomorrow. Hammer Downs in 40 minutes. $15,000 up for grabs. $3,400 up for grabs from last night's vlog. Episode 3. Foxy, you killed it. Be a friend, tell a friend. Good show. See you guys tomorrow.